Trojan football is on the air. Go!
36-28. Southeast of Saline has an 8-point advantage. You have the best player in the state in Class 2A taking the snap. The two-time defending champions have the last say about it. Here's the pass, and it's going to be a tackle by Grady Gebhardt in the middle of the field, and Southeast of Saline has won. The Trojans have won this game. They scored 2 touchdowns in less than 2 minutes to go. 1:50 remaining on the clock. Southeast of Saline might have been written off. They were down by 8 points, 28-20, but Southeast of Saline scores the last 16 points in this game, and the Trojans win their second state title in school history, and they win it 36-28.
This is Countdown to Kickoff for Southeast of Saline Trojan football on KINA Sports. Coming up, you'll get a preview of area games, analysis on tonight's matchups, and hear from the coach. Now, let's head to the stadium. Countdown to Kickoff starts now. On KINA and worldwide on Salina Post.
3 up, 3 down. That's how the season has begun so far for the Southeast of Saline football team after last Friday night walking into Beloit and coming out with a 50-0 victory. Now Southeast of Saline will turn their attention to the second game at home. This time it's not a league game. It's not even a district game. It's a game against the Kingman Eagles, a team the Southeast of Saline has recent history with, including a semifinal matchup back in 2022. Hello and welcome in to Southeast of Saline's campus. Steve Fritz Field is the place tonight where Kingman and Southeast of Saline will tangle. My name is Devin Haney. I'll have play-by-play of tonight's contest. With me in the booth will be Tyler Smith. Producing and engineering back at the KINA studios is Chris Cadle. And that live stream video right now being produced free of charge on SalinaPost.com. Tonight it's presented by Isaacson Truck Lines and it's being produced by Brian Denick. Glad you could join us as we get ready for week number 4. It doesn't seem possible. High school football season breezing right by here in central Kansas. Kingman comes in tonight. Southeast of Saline, though, 3-0. They're off to a good start. Haven't been tested as of yet. They weren't last week either. Maybe the first best 2 quarters of football that I've seen Southeast play in quite some time, leading Beloit 14-0 at the end of the first quarter, then scoring 22 points in the second quarter for a 36-0 lead at halftime. Second half got a little sloppy, though, for Southeast of Saline. They committed their first turnovers of the season, but they still pitched a shutout on their way to 554 yards of total offense. They only allowed 123 yards from the Beloit Trojans. Gannon Jacobson, though he did throw an interception, was his usual sharp self. 14 of 24. Of those 10 incomplete passes, some of them were drops by the receiving corps. Gannon still 259 yards and 4 touchdowns. Grady Gebhardt led the way on the rushing attack, 14 carries, 183 yards. He and Jacobson both had rushing touchdowns, along with LaVon Hopkins. Receiving, Grady was also the top receiver on the night, 7 catches, 149 yards, 3 touchdowns as well. And Kenyon Douglas had his second touchdown reception of the season, 3 catches, 44 yards for Kenyon Douglas. Southeast now turns their attention to the Kingman Eagles, and they first got introduced to Kingman here in 2022 in a semifinal matchup in 2022, traveling to Kingman. The right to go to the state title on the line, and it was a classic football game, a double overtime win for Kingman, 28-22 on a very blustery, cold night. The weather tonight will be beautiful as we get ready for a kickoff here. Southeast of Saline and Kingman, we have a lot to unpack. We will do so in segment 3 with head coach Mitch Gebhardt. But coming up in segment 2, Tyler had a chance to go behind enemy lines, sit down and talk Kingman Eagle football with head coach Tanner Hageman. It's all coming up when we come back. Countdown to Kickoff is brought to you by L&L Advisors. Open enrollment time is coming right around the corner. Make sure you have the local guys and gals you trust the most, and you know those are the folks you see at L&L Advisors. Also want to remind you the Southeast of Saline Booster Club helps bring you live coverage of student athletes and their activities and showcase that purple power. It is always a great day to be a Trojan. Trojan pregame is underway worldwide on Salina Post and locally right here on KINA.
It's natural to think that insurance is complicated, but at Farmers Agency, we know a thing or two about helping to make it easier by explaining your available coverage options. And with over 25 years years of experience in insurance, we can help you through the process step by step. Call Kniper Agency at 825-8419 to learn more today.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
It's the Frog Phone.
Lily Pad Septic, we can get you a flush in a rush. This is Callie. How can I help you flush today?
Yeah, I punched my toilet, but it's flushing really sluggishly.
I'll send Flush the Frog over to inspect your tank today. Hold.
I'm on it, Callie.
Hop to it, Flush.
I'll be there in a splash.
Over here, Flush. Over here. Wow, that was freakishly fast.
Ah, here it is. Your septic tank needs pumped out, ma'am. I gotta get back and tell Callie.
She's still on the phone with me.
Come home safe, Flush.
Callie.
Already got a pump truck on the way. Lily Pad Septic can guarantee to inspect your septic issues within 24 hours.
Or you get a free septic tank pump out worth $399.
If you need a flush in a rush, call Lily Pad Septic.
LilyPadSeptic.com.
We'll be there in a splash.
Can you turn me back into coal now?
Hi, this is Geraldine Diedrich, RN. If you are planning on having surgery, it is an important decision, and finding qualified care for surgical needs is essential. At Salina Surgical Hospital, our board-certified surgeons and specialized team provide professional warmth in an intimate, home-like recovery care area. Talk to your doctor about scheduling your next procedure with us. Your surgical experience is our specialty. Salina Surgical Hospital is partially owned by a group of local, community-involved physicians.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Back here on the L&L Advisors Countdown to Kickoff Show, it's Tyler Henry, and it's time now for us to go behind enemy lines, presented by Lily Pad Septic. We're joined today by Kingman head coach Tanner Hageman. Coach, first and foremost, thank you so much for sitting down with us today.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys reaching out, and looking forward to the game.
So I wanted to start on a positive note. Your team has played a brutal schedule to open the season. I know maybe it's not the start that you wanted, but what's been the best thing that you've seen out of your guys through these first 3 weeks?
Yeah, you're right. It's been a tough schedule. Played some really good teams, including Southeast Saline coming up. What I think I appreciate the most about them is, even though we kind of are 0-3. I think our kids are still really coming to work each and every day at practice, and really being intentional about taking practice serious and making sure that we're getting better, so that hopefully we can kind of change some of the outcomes on Friday night.
We'll talk about maybe some of the adjustments here in just a minute, but through 3 weeks, what would you say is the biggest strength of Kingman football? The thing that you feel the most confident in?
Yeah, I think I think it starts with our coaching staff. I really, trust them and the game plan that we kind of put together each and every week. Offense, defense, and special teams wise. And then our kids are just really receptive. They play really, really hard. They're doing a good job of studying the game, studying our scouting reports, so that when we're kind of trying to communicate with them, hey, here's this look, or hey, we're trying to do this, they understand what we're talking about. So like I said, they've done a good job of kind of rolling with the punches so far this season, and continuing to get better.
Overall, what would you say are some of the biggest things that you want to see this team tighten up to start kind of closing the gap to the Cheneys and the Chaparrals of the world?
Yeah, I think we're very inconsistent with our technique. I think that's the biggest thing that we see week to week. I feel like physically we're there. I feel like we're playing physical football. I feel like we're doing the right things. We're just not doing it with the best technique. And so then when you play really good teams who are playing as hard as you, and then they're playing with really good technique, that's kind of the difference. So we think when we kind of put it all together, 11 guys doing the same thing kind of all at once, we think that we can be pretty good, but it's just been really inconsistent for the first 3 weeks.
You guys found yourselves in a good battle with Wichita Trinity last week, a game that was decided by 3 points. What was your overall takeaway from your Week 3 matchup?
Yeah, thought the kids played really, really, really well. We put almost up 400 yards on offense. Up until the last play of the game, we were really, really clean offensively. I think the difference in the game was they just have two really dynamic players that were just, really challenging for us to tackle. I thought our kids played hard. I thought they executed at a really high level, but, just kind of like your last question, we punted 4 times and we just didn't think that we should have been punting on offense like that. So, proud of the way that they battled. It was a fun game to be a part of, but like I said, just unfortunate that we're on the wrong side of things.
Big game coming up here tonight against the defending 2A state champs in southeast of Saline. When you have a chance to watch the Trojans on film, what kind of stands out to you first and foremost?
Yeah, the same thing that stands out every year is, they just flat out don't make mistakes. Their offensive line is always exceptional. They really press you to be sound offensively and defensively. Coach Gebhardt is kind of always in attack mode. You even feel that way on special teams. You're like, gosh, dang, can he give us a break? And he just and their kids play like that. So, they're super disciplined. And then when you kind of start diving into it, they're really, really physical. Obviously, they got a lot of playmakers on offense. So they provide a lot of challenges.
Well, and you alluded to some of those playmakers, a lot of dangerous athletes on the offensive side. How do you prepare for an offense like that where, you can't just take 1 or 2 guys away and have success that way?
Yeah, that's a good question. Not a lot of teams have been able to kind of figure that out, which I think is why, they're on the incredible run that they have been on and, looking to repeat. It's tough. I think you have to play assignment sound football. I think the one thing that they want to do more than anything is run. And, which means you gotta tackle Grady one-on-one, or you gotta tackle Gannon one-on-one, which is really challenging. So, obviously being in the right position, but then the next part of that is actually going and making the tackle, which provides a lot of challenges. So, we think, stopping the run first, and then, if they're going to beat us throwing it 25 or 30 times, we'll kind of wear that one on the chin.
Defensively, the Trojans have been a tough nut to crack. Where do you feel like your offense has to be strong to move the ball consistently in a game like this?
Yeah, I mean, you got to try to mix it up. You can't get too one-dimensional, either run or pass. They do a good job of kind of playing to your strength and, trying to take away what you do well. I think the biggest thing is you got to be great on third down so that you can keep their offensive their offense on the field and, your offense on the field. So, we think, just mixing up run and pass, whether it's third and short, like still being aggressive with those play calls, or, first and long, like, we gotta not be, just abandon the run. So, like I said, they provide some challenges. Secondary, they got good guys. Linebackers, they got good guys. D-line. So, like I said, we got to play assignment sound football. We got to match their physicality, and we got to break some one-on-one plays and get some big first downs and hopefully some big runs.
Well, and last thing for you here, Coach, I know we've talked a little offense, we've talked a little defense, but overall, if you had to boil it down into kind of the biggest points here, what are your biggest keys to the game? What does your team have to do to go on the road and get a big win at southeast of Saline?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to tackle really, really well. We're going to have to match their physicality. I think that's maybe the thing that they do the best is just play physical assignment football. And then offensively, we're going to have to try to do our best to sustain drives, protect the football, whether that's offense or special teams. And, if we do those things, then we think, we've played a pretty good football game.
Well, Coach, thank you again so much for your time. Best of luck to your Eagles here tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Once again, that was Tanner Hageman, head coach of the Kingman Eagles, joining us for Behind Enemy Lines. We'll step away, but when we come back on the L&L Advisors Countdown to Kickoff show, it's more pregame on the other side right here on KINA. Southeast wins! Southeast of Saline wins! Trojan fans, it's not too late to get your 2024 state championship merch or to get custom gear to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the 2005 state championship team at Copyco. In addition to great SES gear that you can wear all year round,
CopyCo also offers custom printing, so you can support any student athlete in any activity, from football and basketball to choir and band. See them at 2346 Planet Avenue in Salina.
The Kansas City Chiefs earn championship rings, bold, brilliant, and one of a kind. Now you can have a ring that's just as unforgettable. At Vernon Jewelers in Salina, we create custom rings that tell your story. From stunning engagement rings to personalized designs, our craftsmanship makes every piece a winner. Celebrate life's biggest moments with a ring that's truly yours. Stop by Vernon Jewelers, downtown Salina since 1884. We're not old, we're just really good at what we do.
Frisbee Construction is a service organization for the commercial grain industry dedicated to giving you the best in planning, the best in quality, and the best of workmanship, and overall the best value for your dollar since 1949. Frisbee Construction specializes in new construction as well as remodel and repair of grain handling facilities throughout the Midwest. Frisbee Construction Company in Gypsum has emergency crews available as needed. For more information, go to frisbeeinc.com.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Back here on Countdown to Kickoff, getting ready for Southeast of Saline Trojan football. It's week number 4, and the Trojans are back at home, coming off a big victory against Beloit last Friday night. Joining us now, head coach Mitch Gebhardt of the Southeast Trojans, brought to you by Frisbee Construction. Boy, coach, you roll into Beloit, and they're kind of in the same situation facilities-wise that Southeast of Saline is. They had a brand-new field, a brand-new track going around it, and a big night with homecoming, and you guys were able to spoil the party with a good first-half performance. 50-0, the final score. I'm going to lead off with my thoughts. We'll see where you kind of stick with this. Those first 2 quarters might be the best football I've seen you guys play in a while.
Yeah, I think they were. Our kids were ready to roll. Anytime you play Beloit, you got to make sure you're focused on what you need to do. And we went up there to play football, and I felt like that first half our kids played awful good football, both offensively and defensively. I was pretty proud of how they responded to that, because there was a lot of ceremony stuff beforehand. Our warm up was a little bit different and everything else, and our kids responded to that very, very well. Beloit's facilities are outstanding. They did a nice job with it.
Yeah, systems wise, I was going to ask you about that too, with all the kind of recognitions and the homecomings and things of that nature going on. Also, the game just getting pushed back 15 minutes because of weather-related stuff going on in the area. How'd that affect your guys? How'd you communicate with them and stay on track?
KINA Salina. I think maturity. Our kids are pretty mature, and we realized that the weather was going to affect us a little bit and things of that nature. But so I thought our kids responded to that very well. And they did it. They had homecoming, and they had a ceremony for dedicating their field and things like that. And I thought our kids handled that very well also. We stayed locked into what we needed to do. Starting 15 minutes later just kind of bumps everything back. And then up at Beloit, too, you go from their school down to the field, and then you kind of got a locker room, but it's not very good and all those things. But, I felt like our kids handled all those situations very well.
Start with your defense, because I feel like we just need to start with this defense. A shutout on the road against Beloit is one thing, but also only giving up 123 total yards in this game. Your defense, I said it a week ago, I don't think we're talking about them enough and giving them enough credit, and I'm not sure we can. What are your thoughts on your D?
Well, I think it starts with our defensive line. I thought our defensive line played very well up there. Beloit always has a good offensive line, and obviously their coaches do a good job with them. And I felt like our kids did an outstanding job of resetting the line and eating up tackles, or eating up blocks, and then our linebackers and secondary went in and made a lot of tackles.
There's a couple of guys I'm starting to notice and calling their names more, seeing their jerseys more. And we're not talking fourth quarter when everybody's coming in and contributing. I'm talking early on in meaningful minutes. On your defense, it's Elijah Kerr and Josh Watkins. Tell me about these two guys.
Yeah, and they're continuing getting better. We try to rotate linemen some, obviously, and Elijah Kerr does a great job up there. He's continue to learn the system, but he's just continuing to grow and getting better. Josh Watkins, he's getting some more time, and that's what we want to have happen. And I'm pretty proud of the way Josh has been playing on special teams. I think you've probably called his name several times for tackles or doing good stuff on special teams, but he comes in and plays linebacker for us. And I think he had 8 or 9 tackles this last game.
Let's flip the coin over to the offensive side. I know you always strive for balance, and this was an extremely balanced game when the numbers were all said and done. 265 in the air, 289 on the ground. You run 56 plays, average almost 10 yards per play. Tell me about your offense on Friday night.
Well, again, I'm gonna say this 100 times, but offensive line play did a great job for those guys for Gannon to have time to be able to pass the ball to what we needed to do, and then for our backs to run. I really felt like the blocking downfield, we continue to get better with that. I thought Malachi and KB always do a good job, but I think the rest of the guys are picking up on that too and doing a good job of blocking for each other. And when you do that, you're going to have plays that are big. You're going to average, more yards than a lot of teams do when your offensive line's doing a good job and the other guys are blocking downfield. But, I felt like as a whole, our offense did a pretty good job, especially the first half.
Again, I look at Gannon's numbers, awfully impressive. He's efficient running the quarterback spot. And again, we said here and probably in the offseason coming into this season, how do you replace Tucker Thaxton? It was just that's your go-to guy. That's the guy that held down the receiving core in an emergency. You break the glass, you get Tucker Thaxton out. That was a year ago. Now this year, you look at numbers, 6-7 different wide receivers that Gannon's able to put the ball on.
Well, and I think Gannon's seeing the field so well that he's finding the guys that are open. And Gannon's numbers are really good, but we had 3 or 4 drop balls.
Yeah.
And we catch those balls, and it's his numbers are even better. But I felt like our guys do a good job of getting open, running routes, and like I said, Gannon does a good job of finding the guys that are open.
Talk about your special teams. That's the third phase we always talk about, and I know how much you like the special teams. I thought the coverage was a little better in this game than what it had been the first 2 weeks.
Well, kickoff always drives me crazy. I don't know why, but it always has. And but we're getting better. We're getting a lot better. We kind of run that in 3 different levels. And I feel like our second level. I think our first level kind of got better the second game, and I felt like our first level was good the first couple games. Our second level wasn't great, but I feel like our second level is getting much better. So if we can continue to do that on kickoff, that's good. But I felt like our special teams were doing a good job.
50-0, the final score. Southeast of Saline wins their second road game of the season. When you look at the schedule, if you are able to put in the work and have the same results that you did a year ago, Coach, and I know you're concentrating on this game here tonight, but I'm just kind of thinking overall, just things that blow your mind a little bit. If you're able to earn home field advantage, you only have 2 road games left in this season. And that's kind of weird to think about now, isn't it?
Well, I wouldn't even put that together, but that's crazy to think about it. And, when you're 3 games down and get ready to right now play our 4th game, it's amazing how fast these things go.
It really is. 50-0 in the final score there. How'd your week go at Southeast of Saline?
We've had a good week. The weather's been great, so that always helps everything out. But the kids are focused on getting better and continue to get better. I thought our JV, especially the second half, played probably the best half that they've played all year long against Beloit, and we ended up beating them 44-6. So that's exciting for us.
I'm curious the vibe in the locker room. This was 2 weeks ago when you guys played on your home field under the lights for the first time in a varsity contest. Just kind of how that went, how the guys read the room, and just the feelings of going out on that field. It was almost a teaser because then you go back on the road, but you're back here tonight to play a very good Kingman squad. What was the vibe of your team when you came out on that field for the first time 2 weeks ago?
Well, we absolutely love playing at home, and when our facilities look as nice as they do now, it's even more exciting. I don't very often turn and look back at the stands and notice anything, but our stands were completely packed on Friday, our Friday home game, which was exciting for everybody. But our vibe is good to play here. I mean, it's great to be able to practice on the field and get down there, but to play on Friday night out there, it's just outstanding.
Kingman coming in tonight. Kingman off to a rough start. Not a typical start for this Eagles squad. It's very well coached. They're off to an 0-3 start, but when you look at their schedule, the 3 teams that they have played so far have a combined 6-3 record, and in those 3 teams includes the Cheney Cardinals, which we know about Cheney. They're a very, very good football team. What's your take on Kingman this season?
Well, you nailed it on the head when you said they're going to be well coached. They're young. They're younger than they have been, but those coaches there do an outstanding job with them. We know that they're going to be trying to get to where they're supposed to be. So we have to make sure we're locked in and doing what we need to do. We don't very often talk about past things, but when these boys were freshmen, we went down there and got beaten in a double overtime game, and I have brought that up. So, it's kind of just a reminder to us that we need to make sure we're locked in and focused on what we're doing, and we continue to get better.
I was going to ask you about that game. You led me into the next question, and I don't like to talk about past things either, but that was a huge outcome in that game, and just kind of the way things went down in that game. I was going to ask you if the guys talk about that at all.
And we don't talk about things from the past very often, but it has been brought up a couple times this week, and I really think that has helped our guys lock in this week and understand that, hey, that's a great coaching staff. They played in the state championship game 3 years ago, and we've got to be ready to go no matter what the record is.
Not a district game, not a league game. This is a game that you put on the schedule to challenge your football team. What do you want to see most from your guys here tonight?
Yeah, we got to continue to take care of the football. Don't turn the ball over. Don't give them short yards to get in the end zone. I think that's a big deal. Continue to get first downs on offense. We've got to continue to fly to the football, get a lot of guys to where the football is, and make sure we're playing good team defense. And then, like we talked about earlier, special teams can be an important situation in every single game. And we play some younger guys on the special teams, and they need to make sure that they rise to the occasion.
Mitch Gebhardt, head coach of the Southeast of Saline Trojans, his guys back at home tonight for the second time this season as they take on the Kingman Eagles. Coach, best of luck to you. We'll talk to you at halftime.
All right, sounds great. Thank you.
Back with more Southeast of Saline Trojan pregame after this on KINA.
4 walls and a roof can make a house, but a home, that's where life happens. First steps, backyard birthdays, morning coffee, sunsets on the porch. Home isn't something you buy, it's something you feel. And when it's right, you just know. For 22 years, Dan Goebel has helped people in Salina find that feeling. And now he's here to help you. Your home is out there. Dan Goebel knows the way. Call 785-819-1904 or visit Salina Homes to find your way home.
You could save $20,000 on Great Plains tillage equipment from Can-Equip. You heard correctly, $20,000 off on select in-stock tillage equipment purchased by September 30th. With so much riding on your crops, you need the best equipment in the field. Ask your Can-Equip sales professional in Solomon about Great Plains tillage equipment. Offer good on select in-stock equipment through September 30th, 2025. Call or text your local Can-Equip for details or visit canequip.com.
Are you looking for a local brokerage firm to help you with your Medicare, life insurance, and annuities? L&L Advisors is the #1 local Medicare supplement and insurance specialist. Medicare can be confusing. Let the experts at L&L Advisors help make sense of it. Stop by one of 3 locations in Salina or McPherson and speak to an agent about the needs of your family. L&L Advisors, main office at 717 Roach right off Crawford and in the Central Mall Salina and downtown McPherson. Based on honesty and trust, contact L&L Advisors today.
Sage is your go-to source for industrial strength cleaning products, ice melt, floor equipment, paper, asphalt, and just about everything in between. Whether you're a maintenance supervisor, a small business, or just wanting your home to look amazing, stop by 732 North 9th Street in Salina, where we will be happy to assist you. You can also visit us at sageselects.com or call us at 309-1919. Sage Products, the right call every time.
You're a working man with a job to do.
This is Jeff with Vanderbilt in Salina. Some people call us the work boot center of the universe. With over 10,000 pairs of boots in stock, yes, that's 10,000 pairs of boots under one roof. Hundreds of styles to fit your working, riding, or walking needs. Stop in and try on a pair of boots from the old classics to the new technology to find the comfort and durability you're after.
The hours of drills, the pre-dawn workouts, the hundreds of laps. It takes hard work, passion, and drive to do what you love. When you're sidelined by injury, Salina Regional Sports Medicine is just as committed and works just as hard to get you back in the game. Salina Regional Sports Medicine, 785-452-7366. SalinaRegionalSportsMedicine.com.
This has been Countdown to Kickoff. The opening kick is right around the corner. It's about to get ugly. Back to the stadium we go for Trojan football on KINA Sports.
Welcome back into Southeast of Saline Stadium. It's Steve Fritz Field, Devin Haney, along with Tyler Smith as we get ready for week number Online, SalinaPost.com. Glad you could join us. Live stream video taking place right now. It's brought to you tonight by Isaacson Truck Line. Southeast of Saline comes out. They're wearing their all-purple jerseys, purple pants. Kingman comes in wearing all white, trimmed in red and black. Let's take a look at your area scoreboard as we go through tonight. Games on SalinaPost.com, live stream video. Rock Creek at Abilene. Also, Valley Heights in town. They're playing Sacred Heart in Sacred Heart's first home game of the season. In the NCAA, Phillipsburg is at Beloit. Lyons is at Ellsworth. Norton at Minneapolis. And Republic County is at Bennington. Area scores we'll keep an eye on tonight. Salina Central is at Goddard Eisenhower. Salina South is at Hutchinson. El Saline plays Canton Galva. Chapman is at Clay Center. And Solomon plays Central Plains in Solomon. Our weather conditions as we are looking at the coin toss right now in midfield, brought to you by Kniper Agency of Farmers Insurance. 79 degrees at kickoff. That'll work its way down to just below 70 by the time we're done tonight. Southeast wind at about 7 miles an hour. That will remain constant all night long. As Tyler Smith, we'll lean on you right now. Southeast of Saline looks like they're going to kick to start this game. Your new image audio keys to success tonight for the Trojans.
Devin, I think tonight it's all about playing fast and seeing how many plays you can get in and just go, go, go. We see Kingman come out, only 31 players suited up, and I think Coach Gebhardt wants to see his offensive line just go. You can only go as fast as your offensive line is going to allow you to go, and we're talking about offensive. You usually want to get snaps and snaps and snaps. So Tristan Swank, Drew Weller, Eli Jennings, Brody Chambers, Garrett Kuhn, and then all of those guys that we've seen Coach Gebhardt do a great job getting in and out, getting more reps. You're going to rely on those guys just to mow through this Kingman front line and get to their second level and let those running backs and those receivers just go an absolute eat. So tonight I want to see how quick, once that ball is placed by the official, how quick that next play is being called. You do things tonight, you take care of the football, you're going to be sitting pretty at the end of this game.
Kingman's had a tough schedule. We've talked about it. They led off with Chaparral, who is 3-0. Chaparral is an opponent that Southeast has seen in the playoffs the last few years, if not a couple of the last few years. They also went to Cheney, had to play the Cardinals in Class 3A, and then lost a close one by 3 points last week to Wichita Trinity. So this 0-3 Kingman team, they've had a tough road to hoe so far, and it doesn't get any easier tonight with the defending champions in Class 2A. Malachi Hopkins has his right arm in the air. That means we're just about ready to kick it off. Southeast of Saline in their all purples. Kingman in their all whites. Kingman wearing that red helmet as the ball bounces at the 20. It's going to be picked up right there and then returned back. Here's a good return by the Eagles all the way out to the 35-yard line. Boston Beck, the junior, on the return there. James Friesen. Tyson Keller in on the tackle for Southeast of Saline. So the Eagles will start out on offense. They have a sophomore quarterback, Logan Birkenbaugh. That will be the signal caller. He was a starter last year on the varsity team as a wide receiver. So far this year at quarterback, he has thrown for 439 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. He is also their leading rusher at 177 yards and a touchdown so far this season. Southeast of Saline's defense making shifts. Lippold and Douglas, the 2 outside linebackers, go out. They're going to play outside corner coverage on 1st and 10 for the Eagles. Here's a shotgun snap back from the 35-yard line. Birkenbaugh rolling out. He's going to sail it over into the Southeast of Saline sideline. First pass is incomplete, and that brings up 2nd down and 10. Time now to meet your Southeast of Saline defenders. Brought to you by Salina Fence Company. Bryson Lippold, Drew Weller, Tristan Swank, Brody Chambers up front usually. Corners are Caden Berrigan and Malachi Hopkins. Your safety is Gannon Jacobson, and your linebackers Amarion Hollop, Killian Vaughn, Grady Gebhardt, and Canyon Douglas. Those are your Trojan defenders, brought to you by Salina Fence Company. Starting out at a pistol, now they'll move the back to the right hip of Birkenbaugh. Here's the fake little read option. Here comes Birkenbaugh, has positive yardage. He'll get to the 40, and then he's stacked up there by Gannon Jacobson. It's a gain of 5 and brings up 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, you're seeing how Birkenbaugh right there, really shifty. Nice read right there. He was reading the outside linebacker, saw that it was a keep for him. Gets himself a positive gain, gets himself 3rd and 5. 3rd and manageable. That's what you like to see for Coach Hageman and Kingman right now.
Those are the football sitting at the 40-yard line. 3rd down and 5 for the Eagles. They will dispatch 2 wide receivers to each side for a total of 4. It'll be an empty backfield for Birkenbaugh. 2 wingbacks, though, making that offensive line a little bit beefier. Low snap, waist high. He's going to bring it out. Screen pass for 2 yards maybe. Nice job on the play that time by the Southeast of Saline defense. Coming up, responding right away is Malachi Hopkins, holding that to just a 2-yard gain out to Trey Baugh.
Yeah, Trey Baugh with a nice little catch right there, but you're exactly right. Just immediately, Hopkins read it. He knew he wasn't going to get beat. Just comes, makes a great tackle, and now Now it's a tough situation for Kingman right here. 4th and about 3.
4th and 3 from the 42. Short of the midfield stripe. You almost wonder if they're going to try to draw Southeast off slides here, if they really feel like they're going to go for it. Back in motion to the left hip of Birkenbaugh. And a receiver moved over there on the left-hand side, and that's going to draw the ire of Tanner Hageman over there on the Kingman bench, as all the plans to try to get Southeast of Saline off sides and get a gratuitous first down goes out the window as they are punished 5 yards now back to the 37.
Oh, and you hate to see that if you're Coach Hageman. Like, you know, you might go hard count. We've seen so many quick kicks. That's what Kingman did a lot last year. You'll drop Birkenbaugh back to get that punt, but you can't do it if all of a sudden you're false starting as a wide receiver.
Punt formation now, no doubt about this. Malachi Hopkins, Gannon Jacobson standing back at their own 30-yard lines. Here is the punt by Birkenbaugh. It's a high, wobbly kick, angling left, and it will bounce and then go out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. Southeast of Saline will take over there. For the first time tonight, we will see the Trojan offense led by Gannon Jacobson. The senior quarterback has been off to a good start. So far this season, he's averaging 239 yards per game in the air, 10 touchdowns, 1 interception. He also gets 42 yards per game on the ground with 2 rushing touchdowns. His main weapons so far, he has a bunch of them, but it's Grady Gebhardt, 162 yards a game on the ground, 89 yards receiving, a total of 13 touchdowns for Grady Gebhardt so far here in 2025. Southeast starts out at their own 37-yard line. Gift to Gebhardt, straight up the gut. He's at the 40, 45. Look out, hits the sideline to the 50. Into Kingman territory to 30, to the 20. 2 Eagles to beat. Gebhardt into the end zone. A one-play drive to start the game. The first time the Trojans touch the ball, and Grady Gebhardt takes it into the end zone. 63 yards away.
And Devin, just a little inside zone right there, but you saw a great job inside zone to the left. You saw that left side of the line just completely wash everything down. And then it was Hopkins on the outside, just makes that last block to free Gebhardt. And then it was a foot race. And we haven't seen Gebhardt chase down many times. And right there, Gebhardt wins the race to the end zone for a Trojans touchdown.
His 14th touchdown of the season total rushing. That is his 8th touchdown. Here's Jacobson trying to engineer the 2-point conversion, runs into the middle of that defensive line for Kingman, and he will be denied. One play drive and a score for Southeast of Saline as we are underway. 10:05 left to go here in the first quarter. Grady Gebhardt scores from 63 yards out as we step aside. For the first time, you're listening to Trojan Football.
Hey Trojans fans, this is Angela Gebhardt, proud wife of Southeast Saline head coach Mitch Gebhardt. Just like the Trojans strive for excellence on the field, the Bank of Tesket goes the extra mile to offer top-notch checking accounts that fit your style. Whether you're managing your day-to-day expenses or planning for the future, our checking accounts are easy, convenient, and tailored for you. Plus, with your local roots and friendly service, we're here to support you every step of the way. Go Trojans!
Bank of Tesket, member FDIC.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Welcome back here to Southeast of Saline. It's a one-play drive for Southeast of Saline, a 63-yard touchdown run by Grady Gebhardt. The scoring recap presented by Dr. Andrew Westbrook at Maury Clinic Sports Medicine. Visit Dr. Westbrook at his sports injury walk-in clinic every Monday and Thursday mornings for your activity and sports injuries. Southeast up after failing on the point after 6-0. They will kick it away once again here to the Eagles as we are off and running. Each team now with a possession underneath their belts in a 6-0 Southeast of Saline lead. Hopkins angles the kick over to the right-hand side. This is going to be taken by Boston at the 15-yard line. Now to the 20. Little stutter step, still working his way up the far sideline in front of the Kingman bench, and will be taken down at about the 32 or 33-yard line. Good return there by Kingman and Boston Beck.
Yeah, and we saw right there is Joshua Watkins, first Trojan to the scene, wraps him up, and then a swarm of Trojans. Again, it's all about how many hats can you get to the ball. All 11 were there, but Watkins is the first to get there.
They're going to spot the football at the 35-yard line. That is where Kingman will start their second drive. 1 of 2 passing and a rush for 5 yards on their opening drive. First and 10 from their own 35-yard line. Going to hand it over here to Boston Beck on the little end-around play. He's going to put his head down, make it across the 40-yard line to the 41 on a gain of 6.
Gain of about 6 on the play.
Yeah, and you'll love that if you're Kingman. You're getting ahead of the chains right here. Just it creates everything. Everything's open for you right now. Would you like 2 or 3 yards right here? Of course. But second down and manageables, when you can take a shot, you're probably going to have a third down. If you don't get it, obviously you have a third down, but then it kind of opens up the book for a fourth down if you kind of get near the chains.
Second down and 4. Ball sitting at the 41-yard line. Kingman, 2 wide receivers on each side. They'll go back on the handoff, straight up the middle. They tried the heart of that Southeast of Saline defensive line, and Boston Beck that time is met by Tristan Swank, and he's going to lose 2 yards.
Yeah, and there's the danger right there, a little inside zone, and all of a sudden the play's brought back. Weller, you talked about Swank. I mean, it's that defensive line just collapsing this much smaller Kingman offensive line, and that's a huge win to make this 3rd and 6.
For the sophomore Tristan Swank, that's his 4th tackle for loss on the season. Still 4 wide receivers. Beck, the lone setback. Here comes a man in motion. They're going to hand it off to the tight end, Garrett Gaddis. Gaddis, a big fella, and he's going to put his head down, make it to the 44-yard line. He's a 195-pound senior who is listed as a tight end, and he's going to bring up a 4th down and 1 after a gain of 5.
Yeah, again, we talk about defensive integrity all the time. We talk about angles and making sure you're sealing people off, and right there, Southeast did a good job. If you try to tackle him straight on, that's going to be tough. But you saw Southeast had players in the right position and made sure Gaddis didn't get any more than what he got.
4th and 1 at the 44. Kingman still on their own side of the field, lining up here. They have 2 wide receivers, then a tight formation other than that. They snap the ball. They go back to Boston Beck, and he gets nowhere. It's going to be a turnover on downs as coming in, Drew Weller on the play. Weller arriving on time, knifed his way through that Kingman offensive line, and a loss on the play of 1 yard. Kingman will turn it over on downs.
And that's twice we saw that inside zone in that exact same, in that drive right there, and you just got to get hats on hats, and that's so difficult for this Kingman offensive line to get enough hats on these defensive linemen from Southeast. Just a great job from those big fellas up front.
Southeast of Saline defense has been on the field twice. They have gotten Kingman's offense off the field both times. Here's Gannon Jacobson and company. 3 wide receivers to the right-hand side. Malachi Hopkins a single to the left. They're going to give it to Gebhardt. Little jump cut to the outside. Has another crease. He has 5, now maybe 10 yards, and he's going to be very, very close to a Southeast of Saline first down. Let's see where they spot it. They're going to take a good look at this one as Gebhardt was right at 10 yards. And they're going to say move the chains. 10 yards for Grady Gebhardt on first down.
Well, Gebhardt untouched until he got 8 yards on the field. That's a credit to that offensive line just getting that push.
Short field here for Southeast of Saline. They started out at the Kingman 44-yard line. Southeast, pistol formation. Jacobson throws it out. Hopkins has it. Now he has to curl back around, gets near the line of scrimmage, and now a penalty flag comes in. A hand up around the face mask of Malachi Hopkins at the 31-yard line. The pitch and catch goes for a gain of 3, but I believe there's going to be some bonus yardage coming on.
When Devin Hopkins is just so shifty. I mean, he caught that ball in an awkward position. He gets his body squared around, makes just one little move to the outside, and the defender he couldn't do anything else. He just puts a hand up. It looks like Trey Bow again. That just puts the hand up, gets it up around the face mask. But that's just what you have to do with Hopkins. I mean, he's so shifty. He makes situations like that happen. It's a great play from Malachi.
Well, and it wasn't a well-thrown ball either by Gannon Jacobson. Malachi had to come back to it, and all his momentum was going the wrong way. Then he had to curl back around. Still got 3 yards, and then add 5 for the face mask, and Kingman's going to give Southeast of Saline another 5 yards here possibly. Offsides on Kingman. So 3 early flags here in the first quarter against the Eagles, and they've all been pretty detrimental. Remember the one they had for a 4th down and 4. They were trying to draw Southeast offsides, and they moved early. Southeast now up to the 21-yard line. Fake to Gebhardt. Jacobson's going to keep it inside the 20, and he's going to be piled up at the 22-yard line after a gain of 2. First rush for Gannon Jacobson here in the offense, and Southeast of Saline for the first time in the Can-Equip Red Zone, brought to you by the Case IH Red Zone. Can-Equip in Solomon, right off I-70 at the Solomon exit.
Yeah, nice read from Jacobson right there, and Kuhn was up to the next level, just kind of tripped, and Jacobson couldn't follow him any longer, but Jacobson did a good job to get 8 on that carry. 2nd
down and 2 for Southeast of Saline. From the 22-yard line. Amarion Holub on the end around. Has the first down, plus more. Dropped the football. There's a flag on the play here. That football picked up by Kingman. They're going to say the Eagles have it, and a flag out on the exterior as Holub coughed that football up. It took a perfect bounce, Tyler, up off the turf and right into an Eagles' hands.
Yeah, you see a lot of times those fun.
It's going to be a turnover. It's holding on Southeast of Saline, so Kingman will have it. First turnover of the night belongs to Southeast of Saline on the Amarion Holub fumble.
You're exactly right. It's just a cherry hop as well. I mean, that ball comes out, pops up just right in the arms of Kingman. Let's see if that's the spark they need to get this team going.
So Kingman will take over. Not great field position, but they keep points off the board for Southeast of Saline. Kingman will have the football starting on their own 10-yard line. So that's short field for Southeast of Saline that was gifted by the defense. Trojans can't do anything with it. They end up fumbling the football here in the first quarter. 6:39 left to go. It's 6-0. Southeast of Saline leading. Kingman has the football back. 4 wide receivers again. Garrett Gaddis, a slot to the right-hand side. It's going to be a keeper here by Logan Birkenbaugh, and he'll take it out to the 15-yard line on a gain of 5. Nice little fake pitch in there by Birkenbaugh.
Yeah, crafty with the hands, right? Like there was nobody actually there, but every once in a while, if you're a defender, you have no idea where that ball is going. But Holub's in there for the tackle, and you see Swank coming from the defensive line position, just following the ball and making that tackle downfield.
Takes the 1st and 10, breaks it in half, makes a 2nd down and 5 for the Eagles. They come trotting to the football. Gage Klaus reaches down. He's going to snap the football back to Birkenbaugh, the sophomore quarterback. Read option. He's going to be arrested right away. Drew Weller, Brody Chambers. Weller got him low. Chambers got him high. And that'll be a loss of a yard on the play.
Yeah, and both those interior linemen have different responsibilities on that read option play, but when they both get to that mesh point at the same time, you just take care of both the running back and the quarterback as they both did right there. They're just going to continue to eat on that defensive line.
3rd down and 6 here for Kingman. They're operating from their own 14-yard line. Trying to at least get some field position here. Be helpful for the Eagles if they could get a 1st down, of course. 2 wide receivers on each side. Big receivers. It's Hepburn and Gaddis in the slots. Birkenbaugh gets hit as he throws. It's a duck up in the air, and Holub and Malachi Hopkins both collide. I believe Hopkins came up with the football, and they're going to say an interception. Boy, little baseball rules in the outfield would have been helpful there, Tyler, as those two both chasing that football that was hung up in the air. Birkenbaugh was hit as he threw, and Hopkins and Amarion Holub both collide. Hopkins ends up with the interception, and Amarion Holub still down on the field here.
Yeah, and like you said, that ball was just fluttering in the air because Birkenbaugh was hit while he was thrown, and all of a sudden just 2 Southeast defenders seeing a ball floating around. They both go after it, and, fortunately you get the interception. Unfortunately, we have Holub still on the ground.
So Malachi Hopkins gets the first quarter interception after the Southeast of Saline fumble. And the trainers from Salina Regional Orthopedic and Sports Medicine out there as they travel with Southeast of Saline. They're always on the scene. And Amarion Holub is up, and he is now walking his way towards the Southeast of Saline bench. And I'm never one to diagnose or anything from the booth, but it's one of those, it looked bad. I think maybe just shake it off here and get your wind back about you as now Amarion Holub is jogging towards the bench. As Lyric Lilly now will come in relief here at the spot that Amarion Holub was in. So Lyric will get some time here on offense as Southeast of Saline has good field position after the interception at the 36-yard line. 1st down and 10 Trojans. Give to Gebhardt. Jump cut. Explodes through the middle. 2nd level 25. Angles outside 20. 15. Now takes on an Eagle to the 10. And now piled down at the 6-yard line. A 30-yard carry by number 30.
And Devin, you saw Kingman, defensive back right there, just on an island. And I don't know what you do in that situation because Gebhardt has the ability to run over you, and right there just put a little shift right there and got around him. Just another fantastic vision from Gebhardt and a great run.
30 yards on 1st down. Back into the Case IH red zone. Here's Gebhardt again. Jump cut and a score. Grady Gebhardt making it look easy as he gets another 6 yards on his 4th carry of the night, unofficially 109 yards and 2 touchdowns already for Grady Gebhardt as Southeast of Saline capitalizes on the Malachi Hopkins interception with 4:56 left to go here in the first quarter.
And Devin, again, it's that offensive line. I mean, there was no time in between plays. As soon as that ball was down, Southeast was running another play and just a great finish.
Jacobson takes the snap, little misdirection, now it ends up in the gut of Gebhardt, and he's going to walk it in on the right-hand side. Boy, all that blocking out there. Chambers, Weller, Caden Berrigan, give them all credit on that two-point conversion as Southeast of Saline scores again. 4:56 left to go here, first quarter. Southeast Trojans out in front, 14-0 as you listen to it here on KINA.
At Maury Clinic Sports Medicine, we are available when you need us most. I'm Dr. Andrew Westbrook, and I am the sports medicine physician at Maury Clinic. I see patients of all ages and help them come back stronger than ever. From broken bones to joint pain, my team and I are committed to help you do more. For those with sports injuries, come see us at our sports medicine walk-in clinic Monday and Thursday mornings from 8 to 9 a.m. Prevent, recover, and strengthen so you can perform your best. Maury Clinic Sports Medicine. Make your move with confidence.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Back here in the booth, Devin Haney along with Tyler Smith. Live stream video free of charge on Salina Post. Right now, being produced by Brian Dennett. That's brought to you by Isaacson Truckline here tonight. In a home game for Southeast of Saline, their second game here at home in 2025. Southeast of Saline leads the way 14-0 over the Kingman Eagles. Malachi Hopkins out there. He had the interception, the takeaway that was cashed in by the Southeast offense. He will put the foot into it again, and he'll angle it over to the right-hand side. This one might take a hop out of bounds, and it does, as a flag will fly here, and Kingman will get good field position off of that one. Two-play drive. That time, Tyler, it took Southeast of Saline a little more time to get in the end zone.
Just a little bit, but not much longer. But again, you're seeing that offensive line just do whatever they want to with Kingman, and that's going to create a lot of open spaces. And we know that Gebhardt doesn't need any space. He'll create his own space if needed, but they're just doing a fantastic job up front.
So the penalty on the kick that goes out of bounds will bring the football out to the 35-yard line. That's where Kingman will start out. They'll be left hash. And once again, Logan Birkenbaugh will bring his offense out. The 140-pound sophomore started a wide receiver, as I said, a season ago as a freshman. Now transferred into the signal caller role. He has three wide receivers on the right-hand side. Birkenbaugh, play action, goes up top to one of his big receivers, Chris Hepburn, and still too tall that time for Hepburn. They got a couple of guys that they're listed as tight ends, but they're playing out in the slot when they go four wide. A lot like the receivers we see in the NFL these days, that they are multi-use tight end receivers, and he has Hepburn and Gaddis both that are kind of all over the field right now, both big guys.
Yeah, we've talked about Birkenbaugh, just his ball handling back there, and right there didn't look like he had the laces, didn't have a clean grip on the ball. He had a wide open receiver, just didn't hit it right there. But with this offense, there's going to be a lot of fakes. It's very rare that he's just going to drop back and go, so just didn't have the ball in his hands.
Fake to Boston Beck this time. Birkenbaugh on the move, rolling out to the right-hand side. Had Gaddis running an out at the 45-yard line and threw it out of bounds. It will be incomplete. 1 of 5 so far passing the football for Logan Birkenbaugh. And that'll bring up 3rd down and 10 from the 35-yard line for Kingman here in the first quarter.
When we see this offense has very similar tendencies to Southeast right there, and you see that it's the play action, and then we have the flood this way, and it's going to be difficult to flood against Potachik and Jacobson, who know the routes that are coming at them. I mean, these guys are so heady. They're both quarterbacks. They understand the route concepts. It's a difficult defensive back combination to get the ball by.
Amarion Holla back out there on defense on this series. Here's Birkenbaugh, little pump fake, little shoulder twitch, goes up high once again, looking for Gaddis down the left-hand sideline. And it's going to be incomplete. And a 4th down coming up once again for Kingman. As you said, Tiernan Potachik out there that time playing corner as he's back in the mix. A little dinged up in week number 2. Played a little more last week at Beloit. Now out there seemingly back into his same role that he had before on the varsity first team string here. Hopkins, Jacobson back deep once again to receive this punt. That'll come from Birkenbaugh. It's going to be a short kick. Jacobson takes it at the 38. Jukes an eagle. Now he has space to the 45. Look at Hopkins coming out to block. Jacobson all the way across midfield and ran out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Gannon Jacobson, it never looks like he's running that hard or that fast, but he covers territory, and he's able to put his offense in a really good starting position at the Kingman 34.
And, Devin, Malachi Hopkins continues to do things that just – they're not going to jump out on a stat sheet right there, but he He was the other receiver. He was the deep receiver right there. He didn't get the football. He could have easily just kind of jogged down. He led that charge right there, delivers a huge blow, sprung Jacobson for more yards, but it's a statement blow. I mean, Hopkins loves contact, and that's exactly what this team always has.
4:29 left to go first quarter. Southeast with the football back. Screenplay out to Gebhardt. Gebhardt back to the line of scrimmage, down to the 30. Dips his way inside, 25-20, taking an eagle for a ride. He's going to step out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. A 17-yard gain on the screenplay from Jacobson to Gebhardt.
And again, that's sprung by the wide receiver, Caden Berrigan. Again, just out there, just locking up his man. You cannot run perimeter pass plays, short pass games like that unless you have great blocking wide receivers. Hopkins and Berrigan continue to show why you can spring plays like that.
They'll go 3 wide receivers to the left-hand side with Hopkins, Berrigan, and Douglas. Pitch out. Gebhardt wants to run that way. Has to outrun an eagle. Gets grabbed from behind, and he's brought down at about the 10. That's the second week in a row that we've seen Grady Gebhardt potentially get a horse collar, and it's not called. He made his way to the 9 that time after a gain of 8.
And I think right there, if that tackler makes that tackle, it's going to be a horse collar. But the hands just didn't bring him down. It was a supporting Kingman Eagle that came to make the tackle, so the officials kept the flag in the pocket.
In the Case IH Red Zone once again, brought to you by Can Equip in Solomon. Jacobson rolling out on a 2nd down and 2 from the 9-yard line. It's a throwback, and it's going to be short. Don't think that was a design play, as Gannon was kind of running for his life there. He came back to Grady Gebhardt and threw it in the dirt. 2 of 3 now passing for the Southeast of Saline offense.
And Devin, Garrett Kuhn right there, I thought did a great job. The right tackle just continued on that rollout. He had great positioning, and all of a sudden Kingman got outside leverage on him, and Kuhn did a good job. Just put the hands in the air instead of grabbing and making. You definitely can't. You don't want a holding penalty right here. Kuhn puts the hands up. An incomplete pass is better than a hold.
3rd down and 2. A little fake to Gebhardt. They go on the slant to Hopkins, and Hopkins right near the goal line. They're going to call him maybe a foot short. Boy, Malachi just cradled that football. That was not an easy catch.
Hopkins is so tough. I mean, it was ball and then defense immediately. The contact, that's great coverage, but just a better catch from Hopkins.
Malachi Hopkins' second catch of the night. Pistol formation. They're going to go back here to Gebhardt, and he is hit immediately when he got the football. That handoff was almost disrupted, and Southeast of Saline is going to lose 2 yards on that play.
Yeah, Garrett Gaddis, the huge the linebacker and the tight end on the offensive side, that's a big old boy, and he came in untouched. It's a big-time tackle from Gaddis.
He looks like a football player.
Yes, he does. That is straight-up football dude.
So that'll put Southeast of Saline back at the 3-yard line. 2nd down and goal there. Here's Kenyon Douglas in motion. They're going to fake it to him. Gebhardt has an open window, and he's going to punch it right through. Boy, you could see that window open by that offensive line up front. Eli Jennings, Brody Chambers, Garrett Kuhn all doing their job on the right-hand side. And another touchdown for Grady Gebhardt. This one comes from 3 yards away.
And just that motion. I mean, the play wasn't very dissimilar to the play that was ran before, but this time just when you get Douglas in motion, all of a sudden you have to, as a defense, you have to make sure you account for Douglas. We know how dangerous he is in the red zone, and it just opens up the line for Gebhardt.
3rd touchdown of the first quarter for Grady Gebhardt. Here's Kenyon Douglas trying to run it in. That play just never looked right, so the 2-point conversion will not count as Southeast of Saline 1 of 3 on their 2-point tries. Nonetheless, they score again. Southeast up 20-0 as we tell you more. Coming back after the break here on KINA.
The recent storm could have done a real number on your roof, but how would you know? Is your home vulnerable to future damage? Call Bryson Flax at Ryan Roofing today. An in-person roof inspection is necessary to evaluate damage. Rely on Bryson to perform a free roof assessment. Inspect, assess, and resolve. Protect your home and make sure your insurance policy provides the coverage you deserve. Roofs, windows, siding, and gutters on your home or business. Call Bryson Flax at Ryan Roofing, always supporting the Southeast of Saline Trojans.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
20-0 Southeast of Saline. 3-yard touchdown run. Grady Gebhardt's 3rd of the quarter. That scoring play brought to you by Dr. Andrew Westbrook at Maury Clinic Sports Medicine. Also want to remind you, Southeast of Saline's Booster Club brings you live coverage to showcase exceptional student activities and build that purple power. It is always a great day to be a Trojan. Southeast of Saline Booster Bash is coming up on Saturday, October 11th. Want to make sure you secure your spot if you haven't already. 24 seats remaining. So you want to make sure you get in there. It was sold out, and then they opened up some more seats. Those are 24 seats now that you have there will not be any more opened up. So you want to secure your spot.
Yeah, the next time we're talking about the Booster Bash, those
Sold
spots
out.
will be taken.
And it may be in the morning.
Yes.
I mean,
it's a great time and it supports a great cause.
Malachi Hopkins with his hand in the air. He's getting his workout in as he's ready to kick it off once again. This is the fourth time in the first quarter. It bounces off an Eagle. Now 2 Eagles will cover it at the 30-yard line. As bad as that looked, not bad field position here for Kingman as they come out to start another drive.
No, rule of thumb right there. If one player goes to a knee and doesn't have the football, if you're the next player there, you go to a knee as well. Because Trenton Clark, the senior that goes over there and ends up covering the football, he knows that all of a sudden he's got a blocker on the ground. If you got a blocker on the ground, you make sure you just go on the ground with him, and you're right. You start with the ball at the 30, not horrible position right now if you're Kingman.
Marion Hollup, Ganem Jacobson back deep here. Tiernan Batachik has moved over to a corner on the left-hand side. Malachi Hopkins holding down the right-hand side. Birkenbaugh, long count, first down and 10. Wants to go right ahead, and he will have no gain on the play. Killian Vaughn, one of the first ones in there for Southeast of Saline. Also out on the field right now is Josh Watkins for Southeast of Saline. As I talked to Mitch Gebhardt in pregame, we've been calling his name more and more and more as the weeks go along.
Second down.
Give Birkenbaugh a yard on that last carry. 4 carries, 10 yards so far. Second down and 9 at the 31 for Kingman. This play will be stopped. We'll have a procedure call against the Eagles. That'll back them up to the 26-yard line.
And Devin, when you have confidence in your defensive line, you can do shifts like in the middle of the snap count. And you saw right there, it was just the shift from the defensive line from Southeast that drew the Kingman offensive tackle, drew him in for that illegal procedure when you could just mess around. And that means you're also given false pre-snap reads. I mean, obviously you're coming up to the line, you see the pre-snap read, and all of a sudden that defensive line shifts. That messes you up as a quarterback, but it messes up your offensive line as well when they don't know where to block.
3 wide receivers to the left-hand side, back in the pistol formation. They're going to run the option to the left-hand side. Birkenbaugh is going to plant that leg and cut it back in. He will get 2 yards on the play. It's Weller, Chambers, and Swank. They all had their hand in the dirt to start that play, and they all end up in on the tackle.
Yeah, they really did. I'll tell you what, this Birkenbaugh kid is. He's undersized, but I like his spunk. He's got something about him, and he continues to pop up. But mercy, there's just not a lot of room for him to run tonight.
He's running behind an offensive line made up of 3 seniors, a junior, and a sophomore. Only 1 returning starter, though, from a line that was pretty good from a year ago. That was a crew that was all seniors, and they all came, 4 of them were seniors, and they're all returner from the year before that. Here's Birkenbaugh rolling out. He's going to let one fly down the left-hand sideline. It's up for a grab, and for the second time tonight, Malachi Hopkins has an interception. He's trying to get away. Now Bryson Lippold comes over, and he tries to assist him getting his foot loose, but he just couldn't get out of the bear trap that time, and he has to go down. But another takeaway for Malachi Hopkins.
Yeah, just Hopkins high points that ball. It's everything you wanted to see as a defensive back coach. He goes up. He got higher than the Kingman receiver. And my favorite thing was Bryson Lippold right there. He didn't know, like am I going to aid the runner? Like, can I pick him up and try to move him? But just a great tackle from Kingman to hold on to Hopkins, because that's something not a lot of people are able to do.
It's funny because it's almost like Lippold's like, Malachi, try harder. Like, get out of there. Southeast loves the return. They love flipping the field on those quick change plays like that. But Kingman, to their credit, held on for dear life there. Southeast still taking over at their own 44-yard line. Jacobson wants to pass. Has to roll out. Now he's under pressure. He's going to recede all the way back to the 23-yard line. Still looking. Still has the ball at his waist. Now he's going to throw. Middle of the field, he has Caden Berrigan, who dropped the football. Boy, I thought KB was able to go down to his knees and make the catch at midfield, but the ball pops out, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, unfortunate incompletion. However, scramble drill. All 3 levels were taken care of. Once that play happens, and we see it a lot with Ganem because he's so crafty back there, all 3 levels. You had Hopkins deep, you had Douglas short, and you had KB running mid. You love to see that from a coaching perspective. The completion, yes, you want, but you had all 3 levels on that scramble drill.
Second down and 10 for Southeast of Saline. 1:02 left to play here in the first quarter. They lead at 20-0. Kingman showing blitz. Now they back out of it. Here's the end around. Kenyon Douglas had a couple of blockers out in front, but Kingman does a nice job getting off of those blocks, and they limit Kenyon Douglas to a gain of 4 on the play.
Yeah, you're seeing this Kingman defense not bad on the perimeter. I mean, they know their roles. They're doing the right things. They're getting bodies in the right spot. They're kind of taking away that outside run game from Southeast. We'll see on this third down. It's always kind of, you have two plays here. You're not going to punt the ball. You're in kind of 4-down territory. This might be a play that we see something up the gut. We see some motion. We see Gebhardt get loose.
Might be the last play of the first quarter. 3rd down and 7 for Southeast of Saline. Trying to cross midfield here and get a first down. Jacobson rolls out. Now it's a throwback to Gebhardt. Blockers out in front. Gebhardt using those blockers. Chambers gets a good block. Now here's another block and another block. Jennings was out there as well. Gebhardt crossing across the field. Gets another block from Kenyon Douglas. Another block from Berrigan and a touchdown. Block after block after block after block. Grady Gebhardt used them all. He ends up crossing from the left-hand sideline at the 40, ends up on the pylon on the other side, and it's a touchdown on the screen. Southeast of Saline.
Devin, just that was all 11 guys doing their job.
Yes.
And Gebhardt with the explanation point. I mean, he ran all the way across the other side of the field, made all 11 Kingman players miss at least once, and then for the final explanation point decided he was going to lower his head and just drive through the end zone. Just a fantastic play from the Southeast offense.
2 receptions, now a touchdown in the air for Grady Gebhardt. They're going to go for 2. Fake pitch out, Gebhardt. Lippold's out in front all by himself, and Gannon Jacobson puts it right on his right shoulder. 2-point conversion good, 7.4 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. We will keep it right here. And our chance to remind you, the Elite Sports Paintball is once again being invaded by zombies. You can help fight the zombie expedition. It starts October 11th at the Elite Sports Paintball Field. Go to zombieexpedition.com for more information. Also, don't forget to check out the Salina Post Facebook page at @SPostSports on Twitter or X. After the game, you can see video highlights from all around the area, including those from Southeast of Saline. It's proudly presented by the Billings Group. What a play. You almost... Knowing Grady, it's almost one of those things he's like, all these blockers, I got to score here. I have to get this into the end zone, right?
Yes, you saw Eli Jennings was out in front, just didn't have anybody to block, so he peels back. And at the time, you're thinking, why peel back? But heck, we didn't know Grady was also going to peel back. And going with the Hawaiian theme tonight from the student section, Gebhardt just said, aloha means goodbye. I mean, just a fantastic. I mean, he continues every single Friday night to give me his new favorite play, and that is right now my favorite Grady Gebhardt play.
Might have been my favorite call for a while. I mean, that was awesome. Everybody. I should have just said the whole team out in front blocking, but it started out, you had the 3 big guys off the offensive line in a pack. There was one Eagle. Grady knew to cut back inside off of that to avoid there, but then it was just fun to watch after that. I can't wait to go back and watch that on Salina Post. Here's Malachi Hopkins kicking again. This one's going to be fielded by the Eagles at the 18-yard line, and boy, that sums up the first quarter so far for Kingman. 2 Eagles run into each other, and they both go down at about the 26-yard line. 3.3 seconds left to play here in the first.
It does, right there, Jackson Campbell with the kickoff return. He's just coming. You're seeing a blocker try to get out in front of him. They just trip their feet up, and you're exactly right. That's just Kingman, I mean, literally can't get out of their own way right now, but that's what happens when the pressure is just put on you nonstop.
From the 26-yard line, this may be the last play now of the first quarter. First down and 10 for the Eagles. Little low snap there. Birkenbaugh will fish it out. Come out here to Boston Beck, and he is tattooed by Gannon Jacobson and will lose a yard on the play. That will be the end of the first quarter. Southeast of Saline putting in good work so far, 28-0. Southeast leads it over Kingman at the end of the first quarter. You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA and watching live stream video on SalinaPost.com. It's presented tonight by Isaacson Truckline.
In the trenches and on the ground, that's where the game is won. Isaacson Truckline is a proud supporter of the Southeast of Saline Trojans. For local and long-haul service of freight and livestock, call Isaacson Truckline, reminding you to have a safe Friday night on the roads. Wreak havoc, Trojans!
Obituaries and funeral announcements are available free of charge on the Post. This community service is provided in part by Higher Scott Mortuary and Cremations, formerly Roselawn. Higher Scott Mortuary and Cremations, celebrating life, embracing legacy.
Whether on the field, court, or in the operating room, experience matters. A coach loves an experienced team just like a patient values an experienced doctor. Salina Ortho has ABOS board-certified physicians with over 40 years of orthopedic service. If you need help staying active or just want to discuss options regarding the newest techniques and services and specialties that Salina Ortho provides, see one of our trusted physicians or visit salinaortho.com. Salina Ortho, your voice, your choice, past, present, and future.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
Back here ready to start second quarter action. Southeast of Saline leading 28-0. This presentation is brought to you in part by Kansas Bankers Technologies and Technical Consulting, your partners in secure banking technology and seamless IT solutions. Kingman with the football. Second down 11 at their own 25. Here's Birkenbaugh straight up the center. He's going to make it to the 29-yard line. They might even give him the 30 on that one.
Yeah, nice little play action fake right there. Birkenbaugh made the right read. Saw that he just took care of the vacated spot that the Southeast Saline Trojan random did. Again, that's what you need to do. Just start now, just piling up positive plays if you're Kingman. Get that momentum going your way, but it's going to take a first down. So you got a 3rd and 6 right here. Like, this is a big 3rd and 6 just to keep yourselves in this football game.
Those are the football sitting on the 30-yard line. Kingman spends a long time in the huddle. 10 seconds left on the play clock. Nose of the football at the 30. 3rd down and 6. 2 receivers to each side. Low snap. Birkenbaugh will get it. Now flings it out to the right-hand side. And this is going to be a loss on the play. Canyon Douglas out there for Southeast of Saline, making the tackle right away as the catch was made out there on the edge by Trent Clark.
And Devin, most offenses are reliant on the ball carrier making at least one person miss, and that's what we're seeing Southeast. They're not missing. It's that first person there. They're making the initial blow. We saw Douglas do it right there, and then it's been just a swarm of Trojans after that. But you've got to make one person miss, and right now Kingman just is not doing that to the Southeast defense.
4th down and 8, punt formation once again for Kingman, and a flag will fly. You know, Southeast of Saline has had problems with flags through the first 3 games. So far here tonight, they've played relatively clean. Yeah,
they really have. And if you're going to talk about one negative that we've seen, in the first 3 games, it has been the amount of flags. And super clean tonight, and you just want to continue that trend. You just never want to give free yards to your opponent.
That 5-yard penalty will back them up now. Line of scrimmage at the 23-yard line. Here's the punt, and it goes out of bounds. We'll see where the official is going to flag this one out of play as he walks to the 50-yard line, still walking. That was past the point where it was caught out of bounds.
Very favorable spot for Kingman.
So the 48 will be the spot where Southeast of Saline takes over. It's been a game of field position, honestly, for Southeast of Saline. Their worst starting field position in this game was a 37-yard line. So they have not started out worse than that.
And that's what you're always trying to do. Obviously, we have long runs, you have long plays, but you have a shorter field to work with, then you can open up more of your bag of tricks.
Gannon Jacobson and company out there, 2 wide receivers to the right. He wants to come that way. Caden Berrigan down on a knee, and he is not able to come up with that one. Second time, Caden has been down on the ground trying to get a Lowe's pass in and still unable to get a catch yet.
That's definitely one that Jacobson wants back. I mean, he had KB right there, ready to do a little work on the outside, just missed it.
Second down and 10 from the 48. Gebhardt into the second level, carrying an eagle. He's going to be close to a first down, probably about 9.5 on that play.
Yeah, and if it's not broke, don't fix it. And you saw Lyric Lilly just leading the way right there. Again, just get to that second level. You continue to get to that second level and make a guy miss. Big things happen.
Lyric coming out to the right-hand side. Lilly will be out here with Berrigan and Hollup. Malachi Hopkins out to the left. 3rd down and 1 for Southeast of Saline. From the Kingman 44, Jacobson keeps it off the read option. Look out, Gannon has some space. He's at the 20, at the 10. One eagle to beat, and he's ran to the pylon. And out of bounds. Out of bounds inside the 1.
And again, it's a streak right there. I mean, Jacobson reads it, doesn't give it to Gebhardt. He goes. But again, who's out there on the outside? It's Hopkins. Hopkins making that block on the corner. Anytime you're taking care of defensive backs, that means it's a foot race. And right there, it looks like Jacobson just got pushed just inches away from the end zone.
The territory he covers, you have to watch it on video to get the whole point. I mean, like I said, it looks effortless. And he just covered 40 yards in a snap of the fingers. Here's the fake now, and Jacobson's going to take this one right at the middle. Boy, look at that. There was not a single eagle inside that hole as Gannon Jacobson scores with 9:33 left to go here in the second quarter.
Yeah, and you see Jacobson untouched, but get the syrup ready because there's another pancake from Brody Chambers. I mean, he's the one laying down in the end zone on top of a Kingman defensive lineman. I mean, he just continues to do that. Just watch this on film and watch the amount of defensive linemen on their backs because of this offensive line from southeast of Saline.
So a 1-yard touchdown run. That goes with the 42 yards that was right before that. Gannon Jacobson gets awarded with a touchdown. His offensive line doing work up front, getting him in there. 9:33 left to go. 2-point conversion here pending for southeast of Saline as they go in the swinging gate. Jacobson wants to run. It's a dead sprint. Now he's going to pass at the last minute, and there's Caden Berrigan in the back of the end zone for 2. Gannon Jacobson had all the looks on that play as if he was going to run it. At the last minute, popped up and found KB in the back of the end zone for another 2 points. Southeast of Saline is cruising. 9:33 left to go. Second quarter, it's 36-0. Trojans here on KINA.
Summer travel can damage and destroy your tires. Commercial Tire Centers encourages you to check for proper inflation. Underinflation or overinflation, along with the extreme Kansas heat, can cause a blowout, damage to your vehicle, and even cause accidents. Make sure your passenger car, truck, RV, and trailer tires are all ready to hit the road when you visit Commercial Tire. We'll even check your spare tire. Commercial Tire Centers, West Crawford and North 9th in Salina.
Commercial Tire Centers, where service is everything.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Welcome back here to southeast of Saline, Steve Fritz Field, the beautiful new turf that is brand new this year. Looking us right in the face and also taking on 36 points so far from southeast of Saline. Trojans lead it over at Kingman. Southeast of Saline football brought to you by Dan Goebel, Salina Homes. Also the Southeast of Saline Education Foundation, Kelly Kitchener's Shelter Insurance Agency in Salina, along with Salina Ortho. I want to thank all of those sponsors and more for jumping in and helping us bring you this production of Southeast of Saline football. 9:33 left to go. Malachi Hopkins ready to kick it away once again. This football is a sidewinder kick and about the 24. Kingman will pick it up there. Now coming back and angling to about the 32-yard line. The Eagles on the return that time from Jackson Campbell, the sophomore. Not a lot of upperclassmen on this squad, Tyler, but boy, you look down in that sophomore class especially, there's a lot of Eagles.
There's a lot to build on, especially when you're starting quarterback. Logan Birkenbaugh is a sophomore as well. It shows signs that there is stuff there for Kingman, and we know Kingman's a tradition-rich program. It's year in and year out. We're mentioning them. When we get to playoff time, this year a lot of programs you have to do this. It's not always just a straight path. There's ups and downs, and this looks like a growing year for Kingman.
3-man front here for southeast of Saline. Kingman's going to counter with a 3 wide receiver set to the right-hand side. Birkenbaugh takes the snap. Little play action that time to Gaddis, who was in the backfield. And Birkenbaugh is going to bring it out to the 31-yard line on a gain of 4. That time they took the big guy, Garrett Gaddis, and put him in the backfield.
And that's what I like to see about Birkenbaugh right there. That's a broken play. He's not supposed to come this way, but he saw there was nothing on the right side, so he follows Gaddis. Great person to follow, by the way, because Gaddis is huge. And you just see Birkenbaugh, he's able to get himself a positive play, and all of a sudden it's 2nd and 5, and you're in a great position right now if you're Kingman.
To the 32. Gaddis now will come up. He'll go left hip and be a blocker for Birkenbaugh, who will put it right on the chest at that time of the receiver, Jackson Campbell. Campbell took a couple of steps back with Malachi Hopkins right there with him and then went down at about the 35-yard line. It will be 3rd down and 2.
And Devin, Tristan Swank right there. I mean, that's a pass play. Defensive lineman is there. He's rushing the passer. All of a sudden, he sees that ball's thrown, doesn't quit, doesn't give up. He's attacking the ball carrier and just delivers an absolute hammer, as you see Jackson. As you see right there, and now Jackson Campbell's being, he's slowly walking towards the sideline.
He was the one that caught that ball on the last play. Now it's a 3rd down and 2 for Kingman. Low snap. Birkenbaugh's going to pull it out. Kenyon Douglas on a visit. Here comes Douglas chasing him. Birkenbaugh's going to throw it out of bounds to the track. And there was nobody around, and it didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. That has to be grounding. That's an easy call for the official as Birkenbaugh that time trying to run away from Kenyon Douglas. And you got to be a pretty athletic young man to do that.
Especially when you're trying to throw the ball with your right arm. And right there, Birkenbaugh did everything he could. He's trying to get rid of the ball. He understands the game. He just couldn't do it. But what a fantastic play from Douglas. When Douglas pins his ears back, going full speed, not a lot of players are going to outrun him. Just a fantastic individual play from Cannon Douglas.
See a lot of different people coming into the game now for Southeast of Saline. Drew Weller has just come back in. He will bring with him Kane Sawyers also into the game. Jaden Kloster has been out there. James Friesen, Adam Teal out there as well. Larry Kalili out there. Elijah Kerr. We're going to see Malachi Hopkins and Caden Berrigan now back at midfield to receive this punt, as the line of scrimmage all the way back to the 12 after the intentional grounding call against Kingman. Here's the punt. Birkenball, a little jump to bring the snap down. He's going to kick this. One's going to bounce just inside the 40 and then brought down there by the Eagles. And Southeast of Saline again will have a short field to play with here. Our chance to remind you, Southeast of Saline football brought to you by the Farmers Insurance Agency, the Kniper Agency in Salina, also Mary Maids, the Appliance Center, Stardust Trophy, and APAC Shears. 38-yard line, the starting spot for the Trojans, as we are midway through the second quarter. 7:48 left to play. 36-0 our score.
Devin, Kenyon Douglas's versatility defensively is just jumps out at you, right? We've seen him, the pressure he puts on the quarterback. We've seen what he does in the defensive backfield. The kid can do everything.
Jacobson out there with his offense here. First down and 10 from the 38-yard line. Looking at Gebhardt for the screen. Now he's going to look away. Jacobson steps up in the pocket. Looking on the right-hand side over the middle. Caden Berrigan at the 20. And then a big hit, but Berrigan hangs on to the football as he is brought down at the 19-yard line. What a catch that time of 19 yards by Caden Berrigan.
Yeah, great. Logan Birkenbach was the quarterback, now playing defensive back, delivers a big hit right there. But KB with a great catch. You just saw right there. Jacobson flows this way. The play was kind of broken down. And again, it's that scramble drill where you just see guys going.
They're going to call offensive pass interference on this, Tyler, and I did not see it.
Yeah, I didn't either. So what an official would have had to have seen with an offensive pass interference, that's the ball. That means the ball's got to be released from Jacobson, and then there's contact. It obviously wasn't where we saw, because we saw KB running free. So somewhere else there must have been some other grappling, some other holding going on to get that offensive pass interference call.
Perhaps a rub or a pick play type of situation. I don't know. I'll have to go back and check it out. Meanwhile, this will put Southeast of Saline back at the 48-yard line. Here's Kenyon Douglas. Breaks a couple of Kingman tackles. Head down, still running as he gets to the 41-yard line. Kenyon Douglas is going to gain 7 on that play.
And you love that play for Jacobson, right? That's a little pop pass. It's a forward pass. He's going to get passing yards for that. Douglas is going to get a reception. And anytime you're getting Douglas, we just saw him on the other side defensively. You get him running down the hill, good things are going to happen.
Kenyon Douglas now the third receiver to catch a pass from Gannon Jacobson here this evening. They're going to go 5 wide receivers here. Caden Berrigan all by himself to the right-hand side. There are 4 receivers to the left for a second down and 13. Ball sitting at the 41-yard line for Southeast of Saline. Jacobson lets it fly down the right-hand sideline. Berrigan being interfered with, and now Southeast is going to get that yardage back that it was called against them earlier. This is going to be pass interference or a hold against Kingman.
Okay, earlier in the game, we saw this pump and go from Kingman. We saw Bryson Lippold not bite it. It was Lippold and Geddes on the other side. Lippold played it perfectly. Right there, that same pump and go. And Joey Brandon from Kingman just couldn't keep up with KB. KB just gives him that little shift. You see the ball fake, and all of a sudden he flies. Brandon had no chance other than to hold on. And as a defensive coach, you'll take that. You'll take the penalty as opposed to the touchdown pass.
It is defensive pass interference. So rack up the yardage here against Kingman, and Southeast of Saline moves closer to the goal line. 6:52 left to go, second quarter. 36-0, Southeast of Saline. Now the line of scrimmage after the penalty will be set at the 27-yard line. Offsides against the Eagles as flags fly once again. Move the football to the 22.
And Devin, you're seeing that. I mean, after a big play, there's 2 things Coach Gebhardt likes to do. You either want to go fast or you want to try to draw them offside, and right there, got 5 extra yards.
The official was making the motion for offensive, and then he started laughing, and then he just quit talking. Gannon Jacobson and Grady Gebhardt were both laughing. They all got to laughing together. So.
But that's what this offense do. They move so darn fast, you just can't keep up.
First down and 5 now from the 22, right outside of the red zone for Southeast of Saline. Little play action. Here's the slant. Bryson Lippold takes it down inside the 5, still on his feet, and Lippold's going to score. Steamrolling an Eagle, getting into the end zone. What a quick slant play in the finish from Bryson Lippold.
Devin, from what I saw here, that's 100% RPO. Jacobson had the opportunity to hand that ball off to Gebhardt. He didn't like what he saw. He saw Lippold breaking free because that linebacker was coming. And to see Jacobson's celebration because he saw what Lippold did. I always like to see what other teammates do when somebody scores. Lippold does absolutely everything on this field, and he made one heck of a catch and then powers through a Kingman defender for the touchdown.
Second passing touchdown of the night for Gannon Jacobson. That's the first catch for Bryson Lippold, and the swinging gate back out there once again. Jacobson hands it off to Gebhardt. Grady has a free pass into the end zone. He will walk this one in. So with 6:46 left to go here in the second quarter, Southeast of Saline gets a touchdown from Bryson Lippold. It's 44-0 Trojans here on KINA.
Hey, it's Sarah.
And Addison. And Colby.
Back to school has arrived, and that means getting back into a regular routine of school events, parent-teacher conferences,
homework, and sports.
Merry Maids can help you get the house ready for a busy back-to-school season. Whether you want a heavy cleaning or just a touch-up, Merry Maids can complete the service you want on your time schedule. Call Merry Maids in Salina and Abilene to schedule your house cleaning today.
Merry Maids, relax, it's done.
Find Merry Maids on Facebook or at merrymaids.com.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
Back here at Southeast of Saline, home sweet home for the Trojans. They have dialed up 44 points so far here in this first half. The last one from Bryson Lippold, as he becomes the fourth Southeast of Saline player to catch a pass from Gannon Jacobson here tonight. Gannon is 7 out of 10 passing the football, has 2 touchdowns, one to Gebhardt and one to Lippold. Also, Grady Gebhardt had 3 rushing touchdowns in the first quarter. Gannon Jacobson adding to his numbers, he also had a rushing touchdown. That came in the second quarter. Total all that up, 44-0. Southeast of Saline with 6:46 left to go here in the second period. Here's Hopkins with the kickoff. Taken by Kingman at the 21-yard line. Here's some space for the Eagles and a big hit by Malachi Hopkins as he was escorting Trent Clark out of bounds violently with a hit. But a good return there by Clark and Kingman as they bring it out just short of the 40-yard line.
Yeah, we continue to see it.
I mean, 41, 42.
Hopkins just continues to deliver blows. Love it.
We talked about him quite a bit last week in Beloit. It has carried over to this game, and you love to see that. Kingman, good starting position. One of their best field position starts of the night. They will start from their own 42-yard line. Birkenbaugh will move the back from behind him to the right-hand hip. Now he drops the football. Fumble back to the third A. He's going to pick it up. Now he's going to fling it down the field. Trojans there. It's deflected and hits the turf. Incomplete. A reckless pass. That time by Birkenbaugh, and it falls incomplete as he will live to fight another down.
If we've seen any weakness right now from Southeast Saline, they need to get Coach Potachik out there just hitting fly balls. We need to say ball, figure out what's going on, because we saw right there, we saw 3 Trojan defenders all ready for the interception. They kind of got in the way of each other, but let's see if Coach Potachik can hit him some fungos, get him to communicate a little bit better.
2nd and 10 from the 42 after that incomplete pass. Low snap again. Birkenbaugh will put it in the belly of Boston Beck, and he will be taken down after he stumbles ahead for a gain of a couple. Kenyon Douglas, Tristan Swank in on those tackles for Southeast of Saline after the gain of 1.
And Devin, this Kingman offensive line is doing as well as they can. I mean, you're seeing them, they're getting as much of a push as they can. It's just extremely tough. Slade, I don't know how we can describe what it's like against this defensive line and then against these linebackers. I mean, those first 2 levels, if you can't get as an offensive lineman past that defensive line, it just gives these linebackers free rein just to come pop people. Not an easy job. This young Kingman offensive line, this inexperienced Kingman offensive line is working their tail off, but man, it's tough for them tonight.
Would shaving with a cheese grater be a good analogy?
That would be perfect. I need to buy a thesaurus.
Here's a timeout by Kingman. We will step away and take it as well. Here's a 30-second timeout. Back with more Trojan football after this on KINA.
APAC Kansas Incorporated has been building the Heartland from the ground up for over a century. From the supply of aggregate materials, hot mix asphalt, and concrete to the construction of roads and bridges, we do it all. You've seen our trucks, and now we want to hire you. APAC in Salina is growing, and we are hiring for all positions. From truck drivers to mechanics, general laborers, and construction, APAC has your next career. For more details, visit the job links page at salinapost.com. Great pay and benefits. APAC is an equal opportunity employer.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Stick with us after the game tonight. We'll have the Commercial Tire Center's post-game report, and then at 10 o'clock, the Kansas Information Network High School Football Scoreboard Show. Eric Peterson will take you around the state of Kansas. Scores and game wraps from all across the state as he gets you all filled in on what happened in week number 4 of the high school football season. That is brought to you by Salina Surgical Hospital. Right here, our score, 44-0, 5:45 left to go here in the second quarter. Kingman facing a 3rd down and 9 from their own 43-yard line. Lippold and Douglas once again step outside to be cover corners. Kingman snaps the ball. A flag is going to go here by the near side official, and the carry by Boston Beck will be good for 8 yards, just a football short of the sticks, and now we get to check out the flag and see what that was for. Looks like it will be against the visitors from Kingman.
Just heartbreaking. The illegal formation is going to take away a great play from Kingman. And they had themselves set up for a 4th and short where you're sure they would have gone for it, and now it's going to be a 3rd and long.
One of their best plays in the running game of the night, or any game. The passing game hasn't been there tonight. So far, they are looking at 2 yards passing. And this will back them up 5 yards. Kingman now, their line of scrimmage at the 38-yard line.
We talk about it sometimes when we alluded to it earlier, just getting out of your own way. And right there, just if you can't, lining up correctly, it's not an easy thing to do. I know it sounds really easy. We all watch football on Saturdays and Sundays. It's not always easy to do, especially when you have moving parts. Really tough play for Kingman.
3rd down and 15. They go back to Boston Beck, and he is going to be taken down by James Friesen at the point of attack. It looks like Canyon Douglas there's as well. Maybe that was Douglas. It was Douglas and Gebhardt. I apologize. I thought Friesen was out there. He is not right now. Gebhardt and Douglas on the tackle.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about, that defensive line just taking care of bodies to free up your linebackers. They come in free right there. That's a really great play from that Southeast of Saline linebacking core as we continue to see. But, again, those plays are not made unless that defensive line is doing their job.
4th down and 14. Kingman looking at maybe a quick kick situation here. They will put the punt in the air. Wasn't a deep drop by the punter, and that's why I had to question it. Here's a reception at the 20 of the punt by Gannon Jacobson. He's just going to take it and bring it over here to the near side and go out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. So the Southeast offense will be back out onto the field here as they will try to put together yet another drive. Southeast has a turnover in this game, but they have yet to punt in this contest.
And that's been the story of the game. One team hasn't punted, the other team hasn't achieved a first down yet. And that's how you get to a 44-0 game with still 4 minutes to go in the first half.
Check out the Bennington State Bank scoreboard. Republic County in the second quarter leads Bennington 28-0. That Republic County team, if they go on to win that game, they could have a 3-1 start. Hutchinson at the end of one, leading Salina South 14-6. Also Canton Galva trailing El Saline 14-0. The Cardinals on top. As we check the Bennington State Bank scoreboard. Tiernan Potacek in there. He's going to hand it off to Amarion Hollab, and Hollab breaking tackles as he comes ahead for a gain of 11. All the way out to the 41-yard line. Amarion Hollab, his first carry of the night. And really hasn't had a lot of carries from the backfield. He's had some end-around plays and things like that this season, but he hasn't been the number 2 guy taking handoffs this year as he was last year.
No, he hasn't, but you saw right there that's a viable option right there if you need to. Hollab just with a great run. Avoided many tackles and then laid the hammer at the end.
Fake to Tyson Keller on the end around. Potacek will keep it. He will come all the way out to the 50-yard line on a gain of 8. The keeper that time by junior quarterback Tiernan Potacek. As we start to see some new faces, Brody Chambers will come out of the game. Also Tristan Swank coming out of the game as well. Adam Teal splits out to the left-hand side. 2 wide receivers to the right-hand side. Potacek rolling left. Southpaw quarterback has his man, Teal, who was going to make the catch and then get ran out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. So the first pass by Tiernan Potacek is good for a completion.
First down.
$12 yards on that pitch and catch. Potacek to Teal. Tiernan now with 3 wide receivers to the right-hand side. First down and 10 from the 38-yard line. Here's a bad snap. The ball gets away. Potacek's going to go back and cover it up. So this will put Southeast of Saline's offense in reverse here momentarily as they lose some yardage on that missed-snap exchange between center and quarterback.
Second and long for Southeast.
Elijah Kerr on that offensive line right now. Also Garrett Kuhn still out there at right tackle. Friesen in there as well. Second down and 20 after they lost 10 on that play. Potacek rolling out, and he's trying to set up Friesen for the little slip screen. That pass falls short, incomplete. It's going to be third down and long for Southeast of Saline. Tyler Smith is making his way down to the Salina Ortho sidelines. He will have comments from Mitch Gebhardt before he heads to the locker room here at half. 2:32 left to go here in the second quarter. Southeast of Saline, early control, 44-0 here over Kingman. Third down and 20 for Tiernan Potacek. Takes the snap, little play action, wants to throw it over the middle, has Lyric Lilly. It's going to be caught to the 30. Lilly taking some Eagles for a ride and a first down. Southeast of Saline picks it up on a 3rd and 20. They get 22 yards. Potacek to Lyric Lilly.
Yeah, how about throwing that ball over the middle? 3rd and 20 as well. And Lilly just catches the ball. Great hands catch. Catches the ball at the highest point and gets 22 for the first down.
So Lyric Lilly gets 22 yards. Now a pass out to the right-hand side for Southeast of Saline. That will go incomplete. Potacek that time looking for Casson Clover, and it's incomplete.
I don't know if you saw it. I just made a heck of a play right there. I don't know if your angle's good enough, but the hands are still there, Devin. The hands are still there.
Love to hear it. 2:09 left to go here, second quarter. 44-0 our score. Second down and 10 for Southeast. Back to Amarion Hollub. Little dive to the right-hand side, and Hollub just churning his way, keeps those legs moving, and he's going to have a gain of 7. Hollub's carried the ball twice for 18 yards here in the second quarter.
Yeah, and a tough 18. I mean, he's met contact, and he's delivered contact every single time he's touched the ball and just continues to drive those feet. Now a 3rd and manageable. Obviously, you're in 4-down territory right here with 1:43 left to go in the half.
Ball on the 20 is Southeast of Saline knocking on the door of that Case IH Red Zone, brought to you by Can-Equip in Solomon. 3rd down and 3. Here's Hollub, has the first down into the second level. More, and he's rolling down. Stopped at the 6-yard line after a gain of 14. Boy, I forgot how much fun it is to watch Amarion Hollub carry the football.
Yeah, and I want to see him and Grady in a foot race, and they're both extremely fast, but they're different kinds of fast, right? Like, and when Hollub gets the ball, just shoots through.
They both look the same, though. Like, you could probably just change their numbers and be like, okay, because they both break tackles. Contact doesn't get them. You know, they just run so hard. Here's Hollub on the fake. Potacek's going to pull it out, and Tiernan gets into the end zone. Tiernan Potacek with a 6-yard touchdown run, and Southeast of Saline is on the board once again. Give it up for the junior quarterback.
Well, and Devin, you can see that read option from here, and that ball's tucked away. It's tuck, turn, rides, and then sees the opening. I know from up there, sometimes when you're watching on TV, you don't see that ride, but that ride, that's 2 or 3 steps, and then boom, Potacek just shoots out like a cannon.
Tiernan Potacek with his first rushing touchdown in this game. It comes with 1:07 left to play. And Southeast of Saline is going to line it up and go for the extra point kick from Malachi Hopkins. Potacek will be the holder. Lyric Lilly, the long snapper. Potacek asks for the snap. Good snap. Potacek gets it down, and the kick is up and no good. So our score remains 50-0 with 1:07 left to go here in the second quarter. We'll step away. When we come back, we'll round out the first half for you. The Trojans lead at 50-0 here on KINA.
Insurance is something we all need in our business, home, car, and life. But do you really understand what's covered? And most importantly, what you are paying for? Hi, this is Rob Carlson in the Salina office of Smart Insurance. Change is good, especially if you haven't looked at your insurance policy lately. I can help you understand what you need and where the gaps are in your coverage. We provide free quotes and take pride in looking out for you. Smart Insurance, with locations in Salina, Abilene, and Harrington. Give us a call today.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Back here southeast of Saline, the Trojans with a 50-0 lead. 67 seconds left to go here in the second quarter. We'll have comments from Mitch Gebhardt coming up before he goes to the locker room at half. Also, southeast of Saline Superintendent Roger Stumpf will join us here coming up at halftime. You want to stick around for that on the Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories halftime report. Malachi Hopkins ready to kick it away once again. He may need some physical therapy on that leg after kicking off so much here in the first half. Malachi, high kick, it hangs. Will come down into an Eagles cradle. It's Trent Clark at the 18-yard line, and Clark, once again, decent return here as he comes out to the 29-yard line, and that's where the Eagles will come out with a drive to end the first half.
Hey, Devin, you see Keller, right? That's flying down, all right? Flying down makes the tackle. Here's what I love to see the most. The first person out there to give him, a head slap right there is senior Brody Chambers. I mean, you understand it's a team. Like, Brody's the first guy. He's the most excited for that tackle from the young Keller.
1 minute even left here in the second quarter. Still some first-teamers out there on defense to close out the half. Birkenbaugh gives it to Boston Beck, and he is going to be lassoed and taken down in the Kingman backfield. And he will lose a couple of yards on that play. Kenyon Douglas once again in on the scene for a loss of 4 yards.
Yeah, and again, that's just Kenyon Douglas doing his job. I mean, he had his job. Easy to do your job mentally, not easy to do it physically right there. He had great leverage, and then he rode and did a great job. It looks so simple when you do things correctly, but Douglas just did everything mentally and physically correct for a 5-yard loss.
It's a timeout on the field, and the official is going to remove Drew Weller for one reason or another. Might be equipment. So he will come off the field here. Elijah Kerr will replace him as they will restart the clock here, running with 25 seconds left to go in the half. Birkenbaugh has the keeper, and he's going to run right into a southeast of Saline Trojan. Tristan Swank in there on the tackle for southeast of Saline. Give Birkenbaugh a gain of 2 yards. Clock down to 7. Looks like Kingman will take it on into halftime here. Again, stay with us. We'll have Tyler chatting with head coach Mitch Gebhardt as we hit halftime here. It's 50-0 southeast of Saline, and that brings us to the Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories halftime report. We'll have stats for you. We'll check the scores on the Bennington State Bank scoreboard, and a conversation coming up here with head coach Mitch Gebhardt. Get his thoughts as the Trojans head to the locker room here at halftime. Also, when we come back after the break, a chance to talk to Southeast of Saline School Superintendent Roger Stumpf. That's all coming up on a loaded halftime report as Southeast of Saline takes a lead 50-0 into the locker room here at the half. Tyler stalks Mitch Gebhardt right now. That all-important conversation with assistant Trent Douglas. Take it away, Tyler.
Yeah, Coach Gebhardt up 50-0. Everything seems to be rolling offensively and defensively and special teams. Can you just walk us through that first half?
Well, we want to make sure we're continuing to getting better. We challenged our kids to come out here fired up and ready to go, and they did. I mean, I felt like they executed things, offense, defense, and special teams. Did a pretty good job of that tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, so far, and it's just shooting out to us up there. Kenyon Douglas, Malachi Hopkins, Bryson Lippold, and Caden Berrigan. Your perimeter guys defensively and offensively not only is getting a lot of love with just the offense and the way it works, but the blocks and what they're doing. What have those four done to spring this offensively and defensively for you?
I just, if you watched, the physicality that they are playing with right now. I mean, I think we took a step forward. I think that Beloit game helped us as far as playing physical, and the physicalness that those guys that you just mentioned right there are playing at right now is great. I think those guys took a huge step forward as far as playing physical.
Fantastic, Coach. Have a good halftime. Good luck in the second half.
Thanks, man.
Back here, we will have Roger Stump as we will talk Southeast of Saline activities. Who knows what we're going to talk about? We really don't have it planned out, so Roger and I will have a conversation. I'm sure it'll be a good one when we come back. Trojans right now having a good football game, 50-0. The lead here for Southeast of Saline. The Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories halftime report coming up when we come back here on KINA.
Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories. Everything to bling out your ride in one place, including top quality lift kits, wheels and tires, bumpers, Jeep accessories, fender flares, bed covers, bed liners, step bars, even custom painting. Knopf Auto is the and soil dealer and has many synthetics and filters in stock. Visit Knopf Auto on Facebook for specials, great ideas, and let them make your truck stick out in a crowd. Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories, supporting the Southeast of Saline Trojans.
New Image is offering ceramic tint. If you are sending your child off to school or your wife on a road trip, ceramic tint offers heat rejection up to 90%, privacy in a college town or in the city, and it helps keep wear down on the AC system, making the car easier to cool down. Never worry about you or your kid locking their keys in the car. With Drone Mobile, you can unlock their car for them from anywhere. Vehicle breakdown in an unknown area, GPS locating helps roadside services find your loved one quickly with the ability to send the vehicle location directly to the rescue squad. New Image Audio, your official tinting establishment for over 14 years, located at 340 South Broadway in Salina. Phone calls are welcome.
Whether on the field, court, or in the operating room, experience matters. A coach loves an experienced team just like a patient values an experienced doctor. Salina Ortho has ABOS board-certified physicians with over 40 years of orthopedic service. If you need help staying active or just want to discuss options regarding the newest techniques and services and specialties that Salina Ortho provides, see one of our trusted physicians or visit salinaortho.com. Salina Ortho, your voice, your choice, past, present, and future.
Hey Trojans fans, this is Angela Gebhardt, proud wife of Southeast Saline head coach Mitch Gebhardt. Just like the Trojans strive for excellence on the field, the Bank of Tesket goes the extra mile to offer top-notch checking accounts that fit your style. Whether you're managing your day-to-day expenses or planning for the future, our checking accounts are easy, convenient, and tailored for you. Plus, with your local roots and friendly service, we're here to support you every step of the way. Go Trojans!
Bank of Tesket, member FDIC.
This is the Trojan Halftime Report. Coming up, a first half recap, stats, interviews, and a look at other area games. Let's head back to the stadium for Trojan Halftime on KINA.
Back here at halftime here on KINA and also SalinaPost.com. 50-0. Southeast of Saline leading here over the Kingman Eagles at the break. And as we step away on the Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories halftime report, and we always talk about volleyball or cross country, who unfortunately had their home meet canceled this week because of rain, but we just thought it was a good time. We planned this a couple of weeks ago to talk to Roger Stump, our superintendent of schools here at Southeast of Saline. And boy, Mr. Stump, it's one of these things, man, there's so much going on now on campus. It just seemed like we were due for an update. Obviously, athletics are doing pretty well to start out a new school year. How are things going on, though? Let's first start with facilities. Obviously, things look beautiful here at the field. New turf, new concessions, new restrooms, new press box. Boy, what a process, though, you had to go through it. Just talk about where we're at right now as far as the facility updates and what else still needs to be done.
Well, it never seems like it's a finished product.
Yeah.
We put a lot of attention into our sports facilities, and they are absolutely fabulous. And you look at the benefits of it, it's not just that it looks nice and it's fancy. It's really utilitarian. If you look at our season so far, we would have had to move one varsity game already, and probably two sub-varsity games, a junior high and a JV game, would either been moved or canceled if we hadn't had this in place, just judging from the amount of rain that we had. It's just so nice to be able to play here, home crowd, home feeling, all of that. I guess we don't really need the home court advantage tonight, but it just feels good to be home.
Attendance, just patronage, interaction from parents, supporters, people that are engaged with Southeast of Saline sports. It's always been really, really good, but it seems like it's off the charts a little bit more now. The band got moved from the stands down to the track, opened up some more seating. There were a lot of people standing the last couple of weeks ago when we were here. So that move was made, and just another effort to try to accommodate people that want to come out and watch.
Yeah, we've always had great support, and that's one of the things that makes Southeast so great is the parental support, whether it's coming to the games or parent-teacher conferences or volunteering in the classroom. We've always enjoyed really good support, and it just goes, that's the building blocks of what makes a good district. So being able to accommodate more fans, that's fantastic. That's one of the things about coming to a football game is you don't get 1,000 people, however many we've got here, to show up at a Scholars Bowl event. You can't accommodate that many people.
Yeah.
So you get that many people to come here. It's just that community pride, that school pride, to be able to have that in facilities in what we're doing, both on the field and in the classroom. It really does reflect. This is the outward appearance of all the inward pride that we have in our school.
Yeah.
It's our students, our teachers, our community all coming together, and it shows in the classroom. You wouldn't think it, but this outward appearance does bleed over into the classroom and having that pride in your building.
I've taken interest just because I spend my weekends here and I interact with the coaches on the athletics level. I'm not going to lie. I watch the Board of Education meetings on YouTube. I see all the work you guys are doing behind the scenes. I appreciate all of that. Everybody's wearing so many hats, and the way that you are able to interact with each other and work as a team, first and foremost, that is great. Thank you for that. But just kind of the planning and things that have gone on, like you said, there are things that need to be done that are, kind of emergency type deals. Then there's things that you guys are looking around the corner, so to speak, and thinking. When we look at the facilities, it's easy to sit here on a Friday night and say, boy, this looks great. They did a really good job. But what's next? What needs to be done?
Like I said, it never feels like it's over, like you're caught up and you're done. We've got several things that we're looking at doing, nothing that has been decided as far as the next steps. So I don't want to speak out of turn and say we're definitely doing this or we're definitely doing that until we get more of a plan put together. The board came through with a bond issue. It's been about 6 years now. Did a whole lot of updates inside the building mostly. And a lot of facilities behind the scenes. You don't often brag about your roof.
Yeah.
But it's over $1 million roof.
Yeah.
And it's a 30-year warranty roof, and so now we can kind of put it in place and not have to be worried about it. But that's not something that you just pull out of your back pocket and whip the credit card out and go, here, put a new roof on a building when it's that big.
Also one of those things that you take it for granted until it's not working.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So it's kind of like our electricity, right? Let's talk about the classroom. We're engaged here with KINA, and obviously we carry the football games, basketball games. We try to carry as much as we can. So athletics, we are always showcasing that. What about the classroom, though? How are academics going? How are things going on the levels inside the walls, so to speak?
It's been going fantastic. If you talk with the teachers, the kids, the principals, they will talk about how great of a year this started. It's not without its hiccups, but all in all, we feel really good about where we are, the overall atmosphere within the district. And we don't get a chance, unfortunately, to brag or get a big audience to say on the great things that are going on in the building. I mean, how many people know that last year's graduating class had 3 national champions in that group? One in FFA and then a team in FCCLA were national champions in those groups. We have phenomenal programs, FFA, FCCLA. Our FBLA is fairly new and making a statement. Our Scholars Bowl has been multiple years bringing trophies home. All of that is a reflection of our academics. And again, a lot of people don't get into the nitty-gritty of things like state assessments, but that's what we live for when you get into the building. The teachers are digging into those. The principals are charting all of that, and we're looking at how are we doing. It's easy when you look out here at a football team and you're winning 50-0, going, this is a really good football team. That's pretty obvious. But people don't spend the time to really look at it. And we got our state assessment results from last year, and just beaming with pride on the way these went. Some of our scores, like our math scores, you have levels 1 through 4. 1 is struggling, 4 is phenomenal. Okay? So you want to have as few kids in the level 1 as you can possibly have. And comparing us to the state average, district-wide, we were 10 points below the state average in level 1. We had 10%, our percentage was 10 points less than what the state average was. If you look at just the high school, 21 points better than the state average for all high school students in the across the state. 21 points lower. That means, whereas the rest of the state had about 30% of the kids in level 1, we had 11%. Okay? Phenomenal output. Absolutely setting these kids up for success going forward. And it's not just in that grade. It's throughout the different grades. Our 7th grade being at the top end, 23 points better than the state average in the 7th grade in math. I mean, just phenomenal results. They're now 8th graders. This is last year's assessment results. But you don't get that unless you're committed to what you're doing. And so people see this. They come to the stands and they see the football game. It's a lot harder to promote how well we're doing in the classroom.
And success is contagious no matter what you're doing. I'm a firm believer in that. And right now, it just feels like maybe there's a snowball effect that's rolling downhill at a rapid pace right now when you wear the Southeast of Saline purple, doesn't it?
For sure. And it reflects in everything that we do. The state has been struggling with a teacher shortage for years now. Teachers want to teach here. So we only had to hire 3 people. We're fully staffed. Only 3 turnover from last year to this year. Absolutely phenomenal to be able to have that longevity and that stability within our staff. And again, that's because when you come here, you feel the pride, you feel everything it is to be a Trojan, and you want to stay. You want to be part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. What are we missing? What else should we talk about?
I don't know. It's really risky to just be open-ended with me. I can talk about our school district for hours.
Yeah, same. Well, let's do this again. Let's make a plan towards the end of the football season. I imagine we're probably going to be playing into November. I just kind of have that hunch again this year that may happen. So we'll have to make another appointment. We'll have to get together again.
Anytime.
Roger Stump, Superintendent of Schools here at Southeast of Saline, with an update there on what's going on with everything Trojans. We'll talk to him again coming up in a few weeks. 50-0, our score here at halftime. Southeast of Saline leads Kingman. Back with first half stats after this on KINA.
It's third down and 8 for the Trojans. They really need to make the right call here.
During the football game, it's crucial to make the right call. And in real estate, one call can bring a positive outcome from your real estate experience. Whether you're looking for real property, upsizing to make room for the family, downsizing, or acquiring investment property, call Winnell Garrettson at SalinaHomes.com.
What a call! Touchdown, Trojan!
Buy or sell, call Winnell.
It's natural to think that insurance is complicated, but at Farmers Agency, we know a thing or two about helping to make it easier by explaining your available coverage options. And with over 25 years of experience in insurance, we can help you through the process step by step. Call Kniper Agency at 825-8419 to learn more today.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum.
Salina Surgical Hospital is a high-quality surgical facility with a comfortable and home-like atmosphere. Together with our community's greatest doctors, we are committed to a patient care model where exceptional satisfaction is the norm and every patient feels like they are treated with respect, dignity, and compassion. Salina Surgical Hospital is partially owned by a group of local community-involved physicians. Talk to your doctor about scheduling your next procedure with us. Salina Surgical Hospital. Your voice, your choice.
Southeast wins! Southeast of Saline wins! Trojan fans, it's not too late to get your 2024 state championship merch or to get custom gear to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the 2005 state championship team at Copyco. In addition to great SES gear that you can wear all year round, Copyco also offers custom printing so you can support any student athlete in any activity from football and basketball to choir and band. See them at 2346 Planet Avenue in Salina.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Back here on the campus of Southeast of Saline, Devin Haney, Tyler Smith, Chris Cadle producing and engineering as we get ready for the second half of football. It's 50-0 Southeast of Saline. First half, Gannon Jacobson 7 out of 10 throwing the football. He had not that many yards passing, though. About 100 yards passing. 2 touchdowns. No interceptions. Tiernan Potocik, 2 of 4 passing. Grady Gebhardt, 3 first quarter rushing touchdowns, 127 yards. Also, Gannon Jacobson had a rushing touchdown, 45 yards. Tiernan Potocik had a rushing touchdown, 14 yards. Grady Gebhardt also had a receiving touchdown of 53 yards. Bryson Lippold had a receiving touchdown of 22 yards. All in all, Kingman with 33 yards of total offense. Southeast of Saline with 334 in that first half. And Southeast looking pretty sharp. We talked about just kind of the trend through the first 3 games of something that needed to be ratcheted down, kind of tightened up, was lack of penalties. They needed to get fewer penalties. They've done that so far here in the first half. They have not punted yet. 1 turnover there in the first half on the fumble back in the first quarter. But other than that, Trojans look pretty sharp, Tyler.
Yeah, I think Coach Gebhardt said it best at half. I mean, he really challenged his guys. Obviously, you have to challenge. You don't need to challenge your guys, but to get up and play a Beloit team at Beloit, christening their new field, and to do what they did, a lot of times it's easy to kind of have a letdown. You know, you're playing a 0-3 team. That's the one thing I've been more and more impressed with as I've watched Southeast play is there is no letdown. I mean, you can say the cliche, it's 1-0 each week, 1-0 each week, but it's not a cliche to these guys. They legitimately buy in. They want to make sure every game is that 1-0 mentality every week of practice, and you're seeing the results of it right now, up 50-0 against a Kingman team that they're young, they're undermatched, but this is a team that will continue to get better. In the second half, now you're probably going to have just line changes everywhere. You're going to have complete roster flips. You're going to have your second team, your younger guys out there. I think it's going to be really important to see if you keep that clean game. You continue to play. We know the intensity will continue to be there. This will be a fun second half for Southeast.
And we are ready for it.
You're darn right.
I have my roster, my 3-page roster out. I'm ready to go. Kingman, kind of a little trickeration, faking like they were going to kick it real quick, and nobody from Southeast really seemed like they were caught off guard. Now back to the traditional kickoff formation. Trent Clark's going to put it in the air. It is a squib kick, end over end. Southeast of Saline's going to have to handle it, and they do. Diving in at the 35-yard line for Southeast of Saline, covering that football is Burton Brooks.
Well, and Devin, I'll tell you right now, just from a coaching perspective, that little pooch kick is not something especially you're used to as a second-string guy. I mean, just a great job from Brooks, the freshman right there, just seeing the balls up in the air, and you got to come make a play on it. If that ball bounces, you don't know where it's going to go, and all of a sudden it's a live ball that Kingman can get. Brooks just comes in, makes a diving catch, secures the football for Southeast.
You're like, well, Southeast needs experience like that, and then you look and you're like, oh, it's Burton Brooks, it's a freshman. So nice job. Put him on the hands team now. Here's Levon Hopkins, the first sighting of him as he's rolling over Kingman Eagles out to the 50-yard line. Oh, my goodness. Holy collision by Levon Hopkins.
Oh,
15 yards.
15 yards with an absolute hammer at the end right there. Hopkins is going to run through you.
I said it last week. There's 3 running backs really the Southeast can put back there. I love watching them all run. And this is tonight, 3rd of the 3 right now with Levon Hopkins, who now breaks off 8 yards on his second carry.
And Devin, this is not a slight to any team that Southeast has played this year, but all 3 of these running backs that Southeast has would be number 1 running backs for all 3 of those teams. I mean, they are just phenomenal back there.
Amarion Hollow came in, by the way, and on his 3 carries, he averaged 11 yards a carry. Levon Hopkins, so far on his 2 carries, averaging 11 yards a carry. I cannot do the math on Grady Gebhardt's carries because it's a lot. Here's a fake pitch out. Levon Hopkins, Tiernan wants to throw, and it's going to be batted and knocked down, incomplete. First pass attempt of the second half for Southeast of Saline. And by the way, we are having a running clock here in the entire second half.
Yeah, Chris Hepburn not wasn't fooled by that little fake toss right there from Potacek. We've seen that fake toss a lot, and then all of a sudden we roll out to the opposite side. Hepburn did a good job just staying in his lane, did a good job with defensive responsibility.
Hepburn, one of those guys we talked about in the first half. He is a big, big guy. Here's Hopkins again in the second level, now hunting for defensive backs, and he's going to take it all the way down to the 27-yard line. A gain of 15 by Levon Hopkins. By the way, Gebhardt's average per carry tonight on his way to 127 yards was 15.875.
Look at you. Look at that math right there, just rolling. And I think you'd fit in nice at Southeast of Saline with those math scores right there.
Those math scores got me excited. I was a mathematician. Here's Potacek, screenplay, out left-hand side. Tyson Keller negotiating his way around traffic after the completion.
And again, Keller's been a name that we've mentioned quite a few times on special teams, and this is the time you're getting Friday night reps. Lights are on. Let's see you go. We've seen him. We've seen Teal. We've seen many of them do things. Now you get a whole half. I know it's a running clock. You're not getting as much time, but you've got the time to shine right now. Your work's going to be on film one way or another.
7 yards by Keller on the completion from Tiernan Potacek. Play action, a little read option that time to Levon Hopkins. Tiernan's going to keep it. And look at him kind of piling his way into the second level. Had some help that time on the escort by offensive lineman Austin Bramblett as Potacek and Bramblett take it all the way down into the red zone to the 14-yard line. That was a nice gain there.
And again, you have your young offensive linemen out there, and you're not seeing anybody retreat. You're seeing them attack. It's just the mentality they're continuing to do. And that's the thing when you're learning from Brody Chambers, when you're learning, from these the offensive linemen that you learn from, you just continue to do what they do.
Back to Levon Hopkins. He's going to be shut down right at the line of scrimmage that time. No gain on the play. That'll bring up second down. El Saline and Canton Galva. That at halftime has been called a complete game for the second week in a row. El Saline plays 2 quarters of football as they beat Canton Galva tonight 46-0.
Wow, good for them.
El Saline now 3-1 on the season after losing the first week to a very good football team. Kind of the same trend they established last year. Expect to hear from them in the postseason. Second down and 11. Potacek wants to throw, has Keller again. Tyson starts out inside, comes back outside. He's inside the 5, and then brought down there. Forward progress should take him to the 4-yard line after a gain of 11.
Yeah, Keller, nice reception, then weaves his way in and out. Just needed one more block to spring him to the end zone right there. Just didn't get it, but did a good job securing the football as you saw 5 or 6 Kingman Eagles down there to make the tackle.
First and goal for Southeast of Saline from the 4-yard line. 7:16 left to go, third quarter. Again, this will be a quick-moving second half. It's a running clock all the way through. Pistol formation. Potacek turns. He's going to hand it off to Levon Hopkins off the left-hand side, and Hopkins stood up right there at the 5.
Yeah, Boston Beck just came flying in off that edge. Did a great job. I mean, that's the first time we've seen Hopkins, the first contact, take him down, and that means Beck came in unscathed. Nobody touched him. It's a great tackle from Beck.
Second down and goal now from the 5. 2 receivers to the right. It's Clover and Keller. Potacek, little fake read option. He's looking towards the end zone. He's going to be across the goal line and score. Tiernan Potacek, his second rushing touchdown of the night.
Yeah, and it's great when you're a Southeast Saline offense. You don't have to change your playbook when you have younger guys in there, and especially when you have Potacek, the signal caller. He knows the entire playbook inside and out. You stick with the same plays. This team knows it because they're getting experience on Friday nights, a lot of times in the second half, and that's what builds teams. I don't think it's something we've talked about much, but that's how you continue to build teams, continue to go deep into playoffs. They get more and more time, more and more game reps.
These guys will go for a 2-point conversion. Potacek out there with Hopkins directly behind him in the pistol. They're going to pitch out wide left. Hopkins looking for the end zone. Levon dancing in the end zone. 2-point conversion by Levon Hopkins as they are into the end zone. 58-0 now. Southeast of Saline. We'll take a quick break. Come back with more. 58-0. Southeast leads Kingman here on KINA.
You
could save $20,000 on Great Plains tillage equipment from Can-Equip. You heard correctly, $20,000 off on select in-stock tillage equipment purchased by September 30th. With so much riding on your crops, you need the best equipment in the field. Ask your Can-Equip sales professional in Solomon about Great Plains tillage equipment. Offer good on select in-stock equipment through September 30th, 2025. Call or text your local Can-Equip for details or visit canequip.com.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
780 Tyler Smith back here at Southeast of Saline. Right now the Trojans putting together a good game as they are leading 58-0. There is a concern, probably from the outside looking in. I know you can only take care of what's inside the lines and inside your own locker room if you're Mitch Gebhardt. I will give you my concern after the kickoff here by Levon Hopkins. We found out last week that he is multi-talented when he was able to kick off against Beloit. Levon able to put his foot into this one. This is a booming kick. That's going to drive Kingman back inside the 15-yard line. Taken by Boston Beck there. Spin move at the 25, and he's going to be brought down at the 30. My concern, Tyler Smith, and I'm curious to get your thoughts on this. As I said, you can only have control of what's on your schedule and how those teams are any given time. Coming into tonight, though, we knew Southeast of Saline was 3-0. They've played 3 games with a running clock in all 3 games. And coming into tonight, the next 3 opponents, including tonight, have a combined record of 2-10. Are you waiting till week 8 to possibly see your biggest test of the season in Ellsworth?
You probably are, and that's something that we've seen Southeast deal with in the past, and that's why Coach Gephardt's so good about this 1-0 mentality. Like every single week, you get better Monday through Thursday, and then you celebrate on Friday with a game, and that's what the mentality they continue to have.
Here is a pass that is complete and a big play for Kingman over to Jackson Campbell, who weaved his way around a Southeast defender. Logan Birkenbaugh able to put it on him, and Campbell makes his way across midfield to the 45-yard line. That's a big, big play for Kingman.
Yeah, Campbell, that's a great reception, and then able to change directions immediately. It looked like a couple more steps. He's going to find himself out of bounds, plants that left foot, turns inside to gain another 15 yards after the reception. That's a great play from Kingman.
Second catch of the game for Jackson Campbell, and that's the biggest offensive gain of the night for Kingman. They'll go slot man and 2 wide receivers to the left. Here is Gaddis now on the sweep, and he is going to break through a couple of Southeast of Saline defenders and be brought down at the 34-yard line. Yes, that is the same Garrett Gaddis, 195-pound senior that lined up at tight end. We've seen him all over the field, though. Tight end, slot receiver, running back, protector in the backfield for the quarterback, and that time he was able to get 9 on the rush.
Yeah, he definitely does it all for Kingman. I mean, and defensively he's everywhere as well. Just that's a football dude, as we mentioned earlier.
He leaned out of his crouch that time, though, and he's going to draw a flag from the official for a false start.
Yeah, just too excited right there. You saw it. He was trying to hold it back, and finally he just commits that false start penalty. It's going to take Kingman back 5 yards after just a great play.
So back to the 39-yard line. That 2nd and 1 now turns into a 2nd down and 6. .325 left to go, third quarter. Kingman, 2 receivers to the right. Gaddis is still the lone setback directly behind Birkenbaugh. They'll fake it on the end around. Birkenbaugh will keep it, and he will go ahead and get maybe half a yard. Maybe.
Yeah, and Kuhn right there just did a great job. Wasn't fooled by the window dressing, not the jet motion sweep. Didn't fool him at all. Again, it's roles, it's responsibilities. Kuhn going right after the quarterback, did his job, makes a tackle, limited gain.
Remember, this is a series between Kingman and Southeast of Saline that just started here recently. They played each other for the first time ever in 2022. Here's the give to Gaddis, and he has stood straight up. It's going to be a loss on the play as Southeast of Saline came sprinting in. Elijah Kerr, one of the first ones on the scene for Southeast of Saline. Also Eli Jennings there. Garrett Kuhn there as well. We're talking about some offensive linemen that are providing depth on the D-line now, and they stood Gaddis straight up that time for a loss of 2.
Yeah, and again, it's depth. I mean, those are guys that, they definitely see time there. They don't see a lot of time, but right there. Again, how do you handle those 3? I mean, this is this isn't your first string defensive line, but these are all guys that are getting first string reps, and now right now they're still attacking this Kingman offensive line.
4th down and 8 for the Eagles. Birkenbaugh with a long count, takes the snap off the turf. Now he's going to roll out to the right, has a receiver. It's going to be caught, and an Eagle first down at about the 30-yard line. That was a nice-looking play that time by the Eagles. Making the catch was Trent Clark out on the right-hand side, and it goes for 10 yards.
Yeah, Clark did a good job. That was good coverage from Southeast. I mean, everything was fine, but Clark just did a good job catching that ball with his body. Instead of going up with his hands, he protects the ball with his body so he can absorb the blow and comes down with a big 4th down conversion from Kingman.
And I will tell you, too, not to be negative, Nancy, and complain about the level of competition, but what Southeast of Saline is able to do is they are building depth, not only with their younger kids. As we see Birkenbaugh back to pass, he's going to unleash one to the end zone. Has a guy, and it's going to be Clark again. 2 straight passes to Trent Clark, and this one a touchdown from 31 yards away.
Yeah, beautiful ball right there on the post route. Call that a 7 route in your passing tree, and you just saw there was nothing Southeast could do. Just got behind the defenders. Nice throw, nice touchdown. It's a great drive right there from Kingman.
Yeah.
Your first 2 first downs of the game and a touchdown.
Longest run, longest pass play of the night, the scoring play of 31 yards from Birkenbaugh to Clark, and it comes with about 48 seconds left to go here in the third. Kingman will go for 2. Man in motion. Hepburn shuffles off to the right-hand side. Birkenbaugh now all the way back to the 15. He's going to throw it towards the pylon, and that will be incomplete. So Kingman gets their first points of the night. 25 seconds left to go here in the third. We'll step away. We'll come back with more Trojan football after this on KINA.
4 walls and a roof can make a house, but a home, that's where life happens. First steps, backyard birthdays, morning coffee, sunsets on the porch. Home isn't something you buy, it's something you feel. And when it's right, you just know. For 22 years, Dan Goebel has helped people in Salina find that feeling. And now he's here to help you. Your home is out there. Dan Goebel knows the way. Call 785-819-1904 or visit Salina Homes to find your way home.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan football on KINA Sports.
Welcome back here to Southeast of Saline. Devin Haney along with Tyler Smith. Kingman has got their first score of the night. Logan Birkenbaugh to Trent Clark. 31 yards. And a touchdown for the Eagles. They did not get their point after. Want to remind you when we're here at home, not only the renovated restrooms, but also products from Sage Products. Paper towels, automatic dispensers, soap, you name it. All the products here from Sage Products can be in your office or home as well. Get the home field advantage by visiting Sage Products or SageSelects.com.
And having a plug for Sage Products, like everywhere in the school, everything's automatic,
Yeah.
and there's never an issue.
Yeah.
And we go through tons of paper towels. It's fantastic.
Gabe loves that when you go through those paper
Man.
towels. He's happy to restock. Here is a squib kick from Kingman. It's going to roll to the 15-yard line and then eventually out of bounds. Southeast of Saline cannot handle it, and it will be Southeast of Saline football inside the 15-yard line. They never really got it picked up, and it went out of bounds as a couple of Trojans back there in the area. Now the Southeast of Saline offense comes back out onto the field.
Oh,
or did they throw the flag?
They did throw the flag. The ball was definitely touched.
Yeah.
It wasn't touched. Trojans will take over at the 35%. That is the last play of the third.
And they're going to say end of the third quarter while they have a chance to decipher this. They are saying procedure against Kingman. We'll take the quarter break and we will check it out. At the end of 3, 1 quarter left to go. Put 4 fingers in the air. 58-6, Southeast of Saline here on KINA.
It's third down and 8 for the Trojans. They really need to make the right call here.
During the football game, it's crucial to make the right call. And in real estate, one call can bring a positive outcome from your real estate experience. Whether you're looking for real property, upsizing to make room for the family, downsizing, or acquiring investment property, call Winnell Garrettson at SalinaHomes.com.
What a call! Touchdown, Trojans!
Buy or sell, call Winnell.
When you're a working man with a job to do, you need This is Jeff with Vanderbilt in Salina. Some people call us the work boot center of the universe. With over 10,000 pairs of boots in stock, yes, that's 10,000 pairs of boots under one roof. Hundreds of styles to fit your working, riding, or walking needs. Stop in and try on a pair of boots from the old classics to the new technology to find the comfort and durability you're after.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Back here ready to start the fourth quarter. Our broadcast today is brought to you in part by Technical Consulting, your community Microsoft and Cisco trusted partners. Help bring clarity and control to your technical life. Here's a give to Levon Hopkins. He's loose again, and he's fighting his way across the midfield stripe, and he's brought down at the 49-yard line. 16 yards on first down for Levon Hopkins.
Well, at the end of that play, he had Garrett Gaddis on him like a backpack. The 195-pound tight end linebacker from Kingman just rode with Hopkins, and Hopkins just took him for a 5-yard ride at the end of that run.
Levon, only a junior. So he lines up here behind Tiernan Potacik. Football sitting at the 48-yard line. They're going to go back to Levon, and he runs right into a Kingman Eagle this time and brought down there. Good tackle for the Eagles by John Silva, one of the returning starters on both sides of the ball for this Kingman team.
Yeah, it's just, again, we talk about how difficult it is to bring Hopkins down. It took two Kingman defenders right there to do it, but they got there, they swarmed, the initial contact was made. It's a good tackle from Kingman.
Second down and 12 after a loss of 2. Here's the play action. Potacik will keep it. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage and then brought down there. Actually, Burton Brooks, in there at quarterback.
Number 3, Boston Beck makes the stop.
We got a lot of changes.
We do.
Okay.
So bear with us.
Brody Schmidt, another freshman, also in there. Jaden Kloster as well. Looking over on the Kingman sideline, Carson Berrigan is out there. Near sideline, Hendricks Lund. Third down and 9. Pitch out, left-hand side. Racing towards the sideline and brought down, ran out of bounds at the 46-yard line was Brody Schmidt on the play.
Brody Schmidt going old school, no tape, no gloves, no pizzazz, just out there, just old school in it. Love to see it from the freshman.
Fourth down now, and 7.
Fourth down for the Trojans.
Jay Stein comes into the game for Southeast of Saline. We will be in punt formation. Will the Trojans. 9:58 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Beautiful snap, and the punt. It's going to hit inside the 20. Kingman takes it at the 15. Here comes the Eagles on the return, out to the 30-yard line, and then brought down there Logan Birkenbaugh, who is seemingly going to play every position tonight.
He does it all right there. Mason Decker, though, the freshman, first one down there to make contact, makes a tackle. But you're right, Birkenbaugh, he does it all for Kingman. And again, only a sophomore. You're just going to see growth from him. Next year, you're going to see him a little bit better. In his senior year, he's going to have this offense under wraps and do big things for Kingman.
Going to see some of these Southeast youngsters stay out there. Ty Kniper has just checked into the game. With him in the secondary will be Hendricks Lund. At one corner will be Casson Clover. Another corner will be Carson Berrigan. First down for Kingman, starting out at their own 32-yard line. Another low snap. This one's going to be floated out on the screen to Boston Beck. He is going to work his way to the 39-yard line, and that is a gain of 7.
Yeah, Beck did a good job. He didn't have leverage on the outside, cuts that ball back on the inside. It's a good play. It's an 8-yard gain from Kingman. It got themselves second and short. Let's see what they have dialed up right now.
Second down and 2. Kingman comes to the football line of scrimmage right there. Nose of the football sitting at the 40-yard line. Pistol formation, 2 wide receivers to the left. Birkenbaugh gives it straight ahead to Gaddis, and he's carrying a couple of Southeast defenders to the 49-yard line, and that will be a gain of 5. His 4th carry of the night. Garrett Gaddis now 4 carries, 17 yards.
Yeah, Sawyer's right there just grabbing onto ankles. Did a good job making the initial contact. Fought through his block to make the tackle right there on Gaddis. not an easy thing to do. We talked about Gaddis' size. We've talked about his speed. We talked about everything he does. Sawyers did a good job just slowing him down to let the rest of his teammates come and make the tackle.
3 wide receivers to the left on a 1st down and 10 from the 44-yard line for Kingman. Birkenbaugh takes the snap, fakes it to Gaddis this time, and he's going to be brought down for a loss. Sprinting in on the play that time was Kane Sawyers for Southeast of Saline.
Well, it was Sawyers, and it was Weller on the other side. Weller takes away the running back option out of that the option that Kingman was running, and Sawyers is there at the mesh point. Anytime you have 2 people at that mesh point, there's nothing you can do if you're Kingman. And you saw they did a great job, Kingman not giving that handoff off. That's a ball that you just want to keep and make sure there's no turnovers right there at that mesh point, which is ever so dangerous with that many defenders.
Clock continues to roll, 7:10 left to go here in the 4th quarter. Southeast of Saline will move their record to 4-0. Birkenbaugh back to pass, hit as he throws, has a receiver. It's going to be caught. And still fighting for the 1st down. The Eagles are going to be right at the sticks. Looks like they're going to have it at the 45-yard line. It'll be a gain of 11 for Kingman. As Birkenbaugh was getting heated up in the backfield, still got it away. And how about Logan Birkenbaugh here in the second half? He's 5 of 5 passing the football.
Yeah, and it looked like Trenton Clark coming down with the football with multiple Southeast of Saline defensive backs around him. Just a strong catch from Clark.
He has 4 catches, 50 yards, and the touchdown on their last drive. From the 46-yard line. 3 receivers now to the right. Birkenbaugh uncorked it over to the left, and that one's going to fall incomplete. Just as I said, he went 5 for 5. He throws his first incompletion. Want to remind you, Messenger Total Promotions is the official outfitters of Eagle Radio and Salina Post sports team. Get your logoed apparel in store at one of 3 locations. Downtown Salina on Santa Fe, right across from Yaya's and Starbucks. Also, Junction City and Minneapolis stores as well, Messenger Total Promotions. Appreciate them keeping us covered in the good stuff, right?
Without a doubt. Look good, play good.
2nd down and 10. Kingman, little play action now, like going to hand it off to Gaddis. And Gaddis trying to stretch it out here to the near sideline, giving chase, though, is Kane Sawyers. He's going to run him out of bounds at the 40. Boy, Kane was on his horse that time. There's a flag on the play. Couple of different plays in this game. There was 1 late second quarter and 2 here in the second half. I am really impressed with Kane Sawyers.
Well, anytime you have a defensive end chasing down a running back, I mean, that tells you all you need to know. It's a great motor. That's just a skill set that a lot of down defensive linemen don't have, and Sawyers has it. He's long, he's lanky. He can really do it all, and only a sophomore. I mean, the future is, the sky's the limit for number 60.
Penalty will go against Kingman. It was a hold out here on the edge, and that will back them up to the 44-yard line. So see if they can overcome it. Birkenbaugh rolling out to the left-hand side. He'll square up. Now he'll let it go. That's a pass up in the air, and it's going to be dropped. Boy, he had a receiver, and it went right through the hands of Boston Beck.
Yeah, I think Beck was expecting more defenders around him. He kind of found himself on his own. He went up and tried to make the difficult catch. The ball could have dropped down to him. He did the right thing. He went up and tried to high point it, but just didn't come down with the ball. And it would have been a first down had he done that. And had he caught it, he had defenders coming towards him. But right there, the incomplete pass is just that's another thorn in Kingman's side.
It'll be 3rd down and long now. It's 3rd down and 20 from the 44-yard line. After starting the half 5 of 5, Birkenbaugh now has missed his last 2. Fake the jet sweep. Birkenbaugh will keep it straight up the center, back to the original line of scrimmage, and then brought down there at the 45-yard line by Southeast of Saline.
Yeah, I like that play call from Kingman. Obviously, you're thinking you're not going to get it all back on one pass play, even though we saw an incompletion on 2nd down that would have gotten it all back right there. Run a play, give Birkenbaugh the opportunity. They're hand it off or take it himself, takes it himself. Now it's 4th and manageable when it was 3rd and a mile.
Christian Peterson on that last tackle for Southeast of Saline. 4th down, 9.5 for Kingman. 3:24 left to go in this. Clock continues to roll. 3 wide receivers off the left-hand side. Gaddis on the right hip of Birkenbaugh. They will play action there. Birkenbaugh over the middle, has a receiver. It's going to be caught and brought down at the 30-yard line. Immediate tackle there by Southeast of Saline by Leighton Nooch. Prevented more. And still a 15-yard gain. So 15 yards there as we check the Bennington State Bank scoreboard. Andale at the end of the third leading Wichita Collegiate 46-0. Andale's going to get some company next season in Class 3A. Don't know if it'll matter a whole lot, but a couple of the powers that have been in 2A are going to move to 3A next year via the reclassification. If you want to learn more, you can go to SalinaPost.com or go to the Acacia website. But a couple of opponents that Southeast of Saline is very familiar with over the past few seasons are moving into 3A football. Hoisington will make the move, as will Nemaha Central going into 3A. And we know about all the classes of age people at Nemaha Central. Can see it right now, 2026, a potential state title game between Andale and Nemaha Central in Class 3A. How about that? That'd be fun, right? Here's Gaddis out here on the edge, and a good job by swarming Southeast of Saline defense. There again is Christian Peterson and company on the play as he was able to bring him down. Leighton Nooch also there on the edge as well. Loss of 2 on the play.
Yeah, and again, you should see this is what the culture is. I mean, there's no room right here. It is all these upperclassmen, all these guys that spend a lot of time on the field. They're cheering the loudest. I mean, they're hyped about each one of these plays that these young Trojans are making.
3rd down and 12. Kingman with 90 seconds left to go. Birkenbaugh on a deep drop. Now he's going to step up. There will be a holding call here on Kingman as the flag's going to fly on John Silva. Silva, the lone returning starter on that offensive line, really got after a Trojan that time, freshman Caden Peterson, and it will be a holding call at least on Silva.
Yeah, basically a tackle back there.
Yeah.
I mean, you just see it, but that defensive line is applying so much pressure. The defensive calls, again, when you're in the right spots, you're dropping back in that zone, you have your area taken care of. There's nowhere for this Kingman offense to go. It doesn't matter who the defensive backs are right now. When you're getting pressure up front, it's just so tough.
Going to be on 4th down.
Penalties decline. It's 4th down and 12 now for Kingman. Birkenbaugh back to pass. Takes that deep drop again. He's going to let it rip down the left-hand side, and it will be caught or intercepted. Intercepted! A pick for Southeast of Saline. Their 3rd interception of the night. And this one comes from sophomore Hendricks Lund.
That was not an easy pick. Hendricks Lund goes up and attacks the football. Big-time interception from the sophomore Hendricks Lund right there. That's a play. Star that thing. That's going to be a huddle highlight that he's going to have for years.
3 interceptions for Southeast of Saline, and that's the way to walk it off the field. 58-6, our final scores. Commercial Tire Center's post-game report is right around the corner. We'll have comments from head coach Mitch Gebhardt. We'll also have stats from this game and a final check of the Bennington State Bank scoreboard. We'll also have our Vernon Jewelers gem of the game and our Everhart Precision Pass of the night. 58-6, Trojans move to 4-0 with a victory over Kingman. You heard it right here on KINA.
Are you looking for a local brokerage firm to help you with your Medicare, life insurance, and annuities? L&L Advisors is the #1 local Medicare supplement and insurance specialist. Medicare can be confusing. Let the experts at L&L Advisors help make sense of it. Stop by one of 3 locations in Salina or McPherson and speak to an agent about the needs of your family. L&L Advisors, main office at 717 Roach right off Crawford and in the Central Mall Salina and downtown McPherson. Based on honesty and trust, contact L&L Advisors today.
Sage is your go-to source for industrial strength cleaning products, ice melt, floor equipment, paper, asphalt, and just about everything in between. Whether you're a maintenance supervisor, a small business, or just wanting your home to look amazing, stop by 732 North 9th Street in Salina, where we will be happy to assist you. You can also visit us at sageselects.com or call us at 309-1919. Sage Products, the right call every time.
Obituaries and funeral announcements are available free of charge on the post. This community service is provided in part by Higher Scott Mortuary and Cremations, formerly Roselawn. Higher Scott Mortuary and Cremations, celebrating life, embracing legacy.
In the trenches and on the ground, that's where the game is won. Isaacson Truck Line is a proud supporter of the Southeast of Saline Trojans. For local and long-haul service of freight and livestock, call Isaacson Truck Line, reminding you to have a safe Friday night on the roads. Wreak havoc, Trojans.
1, 2, 3, 5.
It's third down and 8 for the Trojans. They really need to make the right call here.
During the football game, it's crucial to make the right call. And in real estate, one call can bring a positive outcome from your real estate experience. Whether you're looking for real property, upsizing to make room for the family, downsizing, or acquiring investment property, call Winnell Garrettson at salinahomes.com.
What a call! Touchdown, Trojans!
Buy or sell, call Winnell.
For 40 years, Phillips Seed has delivered top-quality certified seeds. With wheat drilling season approaching, now's the time to reach out to Phillips Seed Farms for the latest variety options and tailored seed treatments. It's also the perfect opportunity to plant your corn hybrids and soybean varieties for the 2025 planting season. Visit PhillipsSeed.com, follow us on Facebook and X, or connect with a local seed dealer near you. Phillips Seed, serving, innovating, growing since 1985.
Are you looking to upgrade your home with high-quality flooring and appliances? Look no further than Salina Appliance and Flooring. We're your one-stop shop for all your home improvement needs. We offer a wide selection of flooring and appliance options. Visit our showroom today located at 740 North 9th or our website at salinaappliance.com.
The Appliance Center, your local, trustworthy, and family-owned appliance dealer, providing sales, service, and parts for Salina and the surrounding area since 1980. The Appliance Center, just north of Ace Hardware on Broadway in the red and white building. Stop in today and experience the Appliance Center difference.
Time for the Trojan postgame show on KINA Sports. Stick around for the game recap, final stats, and reaction from the coach. This is Trojan football on KINA.
Back here on the campus of Southeast of Saline, a successful night for the Southeast of Saline Trojan football team as they are able to get a big victory out here over the Kingman Eagles, 58-6. We're awaiting comments on the field from head coach Mitch Gebhardt. But boy, I tell you what, looking at the Vernon Jewelers gym of the game, it's got to be Grady Gebhardt and the way he was running the football in the first half. 3 first-quarter rushing touchdowns for Grady Gebhardt. He barely played outside of the first quarter, ends up with 8 carries of 127 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, and a receiving touchdown. Right now, Grady Gebhardt, through 4 games, has 17 touchdowns on the season. He is averaging 4.25 touchdowns per outing, and it's coming almost equally in the rushing and the receiving aspects of the game. He has 10 rushing touchdowns and 7 receiving touchdowns here so far in this season. Gannon Jacobson tonight, he was fantastic. 2 passing touchdowns, 1 running touchdown. And how about a big gold star for Tiernan Potacik? He comes in, plays a quarter of quarterback, and he gets 2 rushing touchdowns as well. Malachi Hopkins, he also gets a big thumbs up as well tonight, as he had 2 of Southeast of Saline's 3 interceptions on defense. This Southeast of Saline defense held Kingman to 33 yards in the first half. Here's Coach with Tyler.
Coach, very quickly, 58-6 win, took care of business in the second half. I want to know how exciting it is to see those young guys do what they did. And our favorite thing was to see those older guys have front row seats and be the biggest supporters of those young guys.
Yeah, and that's a big deal. I mean, those guys got to do that also, and they got to play in a varsity game, when they were freshmen, sophomores, or whatever, and for our guys to cheer on their guys and the younger guys and everything else, that's huge. But and when we put those guys out there, our expectations are the same for them, and I thought they did a good job tonight. We gave that 1 touchdown, but I felt like we did a pretty good job there in the second half too.
Coach, just a great performance altogether. We'll keep it quick. Congratulations. Have a great night. Have a good weekend, Coach.
Very good on the field. Tyler Smith down there with head coach Mitch Gebhardt, as those two talking about a big victory here for Southeast of Saline in this game. Scores all over the place for Southeast, 58-6, the final here from Southeast of Saline. Let's go over final numbers for you for the Trojans on offense. Let's start first with passing. Gannon Jacobson, 7 of 10, passing the football in this game. He threw 102 yards, 2 touchdowns, going 7 of 10, no interceptions. Then Tiernan Potacik came in. He went 4 of 7 passing the football in this game as well, and he had 34 yards in the first half, 18 yards in the second half. Tiernan did his damage on the ground, though, as he was able to get 2 rushing touchdowns. All in all tonight, led by Grady Gebhardt with 127 yards. 45 yards from Gannon Jacobson, 52 yards from Levon Hopkins, 32 yards from Amarion Hollub, 30 yards from Tiernan Patacic. Southeast of Saline piles on 281 rushing yards. They also had, between Tiernan Patacic and Gannon Jacobson, 140 yards passing. Southeast of Saline tonight, 421 total yards of offense. As I said, they were able to get 3 takeaways from the Kingman Eagles. 3 interceptions, 2 of them by Malachi Hopkins in the first quarter, and another one in the fourth quarter by Hendricks Lund. That was the last play of the game. Kingman, 33 yards of total offense in the first half. They did much better in the second half. They end up with 43 yards rushing, 82 yards passing for a total of 125 yards. And I think tonight, there's no doubt, our Everhart Precision Ag Precision Pass of the Night has to go on the screenplay to Grady Gebhardt. It was not an aerial show. It was not one of those passes that you just say, boy, what a great placement ball by Gannon Jacobson. It was the blocking. Jacobson threw it out to Grady Gebhardt, and then the other 9 guys get involved on blocking in that play. We talked about it when it happened. It's almost like Grady knew he had to score from 53 yards away as he was able to come from the 40-yard line on the left-hand side, go all the way across and get the goal line as every single dude wearing purple on the field threw a block on that play. That 53-yard touchdown on the screenplay from Gannon Jacobson to Grady Gebhardt with the entire team blocking our Everhart Precision Ag Precision Pass of the Night.
Yeah, I think that one play kind of embodies everything that this offense does. Like, obviously, we talk about Jacobson, we talk about Gebhardt, we talk about the playmakers, if you will, but it takes all 11, and those two know that with, all of their flowers that they get come from those big guys and come from the outside guys doing their job. That play, all 11 guys did their job, and then it just turned into one of those things. Grady Gebhardt wears purple, and your team doesn't have a Grady Gebhardt.
I'm up for voting here. I'm also up for agreement if you want to. Our Vernon Jewelers Gym of the Game, and this started last week with him. I'm going to go there again tonight because it's not only in the defensive game, it's all the kickoffs. It is playing much better defensively. It is throwing blocks on offense and making some good catches on offense. I'm going to go Malachi Hopkins tonight. 2 interceptions in the first quarter. He's playing much better on the defensive side of the ball. What I've seen this year out of Malachi, not only is he seemingly right place, right time all the time, he has a much more physical presence than what he was before.
It's an absolute attitude. I mean, he is nasty down there. I mean, a lot of, we all know this. Your wide receivers, your cornerbacks, a lot of times – they're divas, they don't like contact. They don't want that. So what he's done is he's taken that, that mindset and thinking those other guys don't want any contact. And he's delivering blows. He makes statement blocks that springs these massive runs on the outside. And here's the deal. When you have a Gebhardt running behind you, you don't know if the ball's on the other side or not. You're blocking whether you're offside or the strong side. And he continues to do that with authority, and it's springing huge nights for Grady Gebhardt.
Big victory tonight for Southeast of Saline, 58-6. Everybody got on the field. There was a ton of freshmen out on that field in the fourth quarter, and I didn't get to finish my thoughts, but to finish the broadcast here with that thought, we were talking about where's the competition going to come from for Southeast of Saline. This is the 4th game of the season they've played. This is the 4th time they've had a running clock. We talk about where's the competition. It may come in week 8 against Ellsworth. I don't know. That hasn't proven to be a fact the last few years. But what they're able to do in these games is they are able to put 2nd, 3rd freshmen out on the field against the other team's first-team varsity and able to build depth. So when it comes time, if, God forgive, an injury should occur or something happens where you need a guy to fill in and be that reliable backup and step into a starting role, these guys are going to be ready.
Well, do you know why they're ready? I mean, these scout team guys are facing these first-teamers. And what's going to make you better Monday through Thursday? You can't get any better competition than facing your own team. And that's exactly what we continue to see happen. It just grows. It's compound interest. I mean, you put value in, and you just watch that stuff just go, and grow. And that's exactly what's going on here. We'll have the same conversation, hopefully, a year from now, where we're speaking of names that aren't making big splashes this season, but because they're facing the best competition 4 days out of the week at practice, they just continue to get better and better and better. And by golly, it's fun to be a part of.
Still pretty early. It's only 9:10. So there's a lot of stuff going on. We're going to fill some space with Chiefs Kingdom, a Randy Picking always puts a nice job together. He will preview the Chiefs game coming up on Sunday. It's a big one, 2 o'clock pregame, 3:25 kick here on KINA as the Chiefs are back at Arrowhead to take on the Ravens. Also, don't forget about the scoreboard show coming up tonight from 10 until 11 o'clock. Scores and game recaps from across the state of Kansas. That is a full hour from 10 until 11 every Friday night. That is brought to you by Salina Surgical Hospital. Tonight, it's all southeast of Saline. They led it 50-0 at halftime. They end up with a final score of 58-6. The next outing for Southeast of Saline football will come your way 1 week from tonight on Friday. They will be on the road for a league game and also their first district game as they will visit the Lions in Lyons, and we'll have it all for you right here on KINA. For Brian Dennon providing that live stream video, you can go watch it anytime free of charge on SalinaPost.com. Just go Salina Post on YouTube, and it's brought to you tonight by Isaacson Truckline. Appreciate Ryan and family jumping on board, helping us keep the production going. Also, Chris Cato back at Studio Central producing and engineering. For Tyler Smith, my name's Devin Haney. Have a great weekend, and we will see you next Friday in Lyons for more Southeast Trojan football.